Hi, everyone.
Hi.
All right. I'm just sharing this out to my other page.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I told everybody that I would share that out also.
All right, guys, we are live, not just on Facebook, we are also on Ghost Sisters on YouTube. So please do like and share. And yeah, we're on here tonight. We don't know what we're going to talk about. It doesn't just have to be paranormal, guys. We're going to shoot the shit and just whatever. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask us, go ahead.
Yeah, anything and everything. Doesn't need to be.
We might speak a little too much of the truth, but
yeah, well, let's hope we don't get in trouble, but yeah.
I know. And hello, Christy. And let us know, ladies, what if you're drinking any wine or something. Let us know what you're drinking.
Yes. Yeah. And I just want to say Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah, I was going to post something about that, but then I was like, you know what? Me and Sherry's going live. So, hey.
We can say it.
That's right. Happy International Women's Day. Here we go. Drink that.
Yeah.
I was going to say to the women or the men, I was going to say post a picture, but then I'm like, I don't think I can in the comments, but I don't think I can pull it up on StreamYard. I would have to just look on my phone, everybody's like drinking and stuff.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess they just have to talk about what they're doing.
What is it you're drinking, Sherry? What's your wine?
I'm drinking Pinot Noir. I don't know if I can share the company name. No, but I'll just do this one. I love Pinot Noir. And I actually opened up another bottle earlier to taste it because I'm kind of doing a little taste testing over here. It was disgusting. So I was like, but I did find a bottle that I liked. So.
Well, I'm drinking this reggae wine, and it's really cheap. I was telling Sherry, I said, this is like, I caught it on sale for $7.34 at Kroger's. But it's good wine. It's really good. It's that sweet red wine, and it's got a high percentage on the alcohol. I'm like, ooh,
Now, is it only sold out there? Because I didn't hear.
They sell it, I believe, at Myers, Kroger's. I even found it in a few gas stations by surprise. I'm like, what? So, in Walmart, I've even seen it at Walmart when I was out shopping.
Wow.
So I'm like, you know what?
I will have to look it up.
It's weird though, because in Walmart in certain locations, they tried to get me $20 on this bottle, and I said, oh hell no. I know better. They sell it for $8.
Yes.
I'm like, you're not getting me. This little bottle.
I have my parents they had what do you call it? They sent out for like a subscription to wine. So we have cases of wine. Mm-hmm. So it's just sitting there. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to go through it, I don't drink the whites. So the whites all, kind of like in its own little corner, but so I have a lot to go through.
You do? I'm sure at some point you're going to need it down the road. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But see, like I was telling you before we went live, I can't do the dry wine. Oh my gosh, my dad's sister, before she passed, and she lived over in California, and she had a lot of money, so she was one of those fancy wine drinkers, and she would drink that high class dry yucky wine anytime she came to Ohio with her family here. And knowing that most of the family's whiskey, beer are, not that stuff she was drinking. And that would be sometimes all there was to drink. And she would have bottles of this dry wine. And I'm like, ugh, and the family, they're up singing and karaoke. And I'm like, I need some wine. I need something. Because I don't want to get up there.
I don't know if I will ever be that drunk to get up there for karaoke.
I've gotten up there even when I was Ricky, but you know, family times, it's like they're going to be recording and posting this, and they did. But I drink that wine, girl. It was
Oh
it's
God.
like after you get through that first glass, you're okay. You know, you get over that bitterness, and then it's like.
Mm. And like you said, like whiskey and stuff, I can't drink any of that stuff.
It has to be sweet for me.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody tuning in.
Hello.
Okay. Hey, if you guys got questions, you know, you can ask us whatever you want. And, you know, like I said, we're just going to be on here talking about anything. It doesn't have to just be paranormal. We're just going to be chatting.
Yeah, we were on here a couple of weeks ago, but we figured we'd do another one just to shoot the shit, not about paranormal, you know, anything and everything. So whatever questions you have, some we may not answer, but you can try.
Everyone's tuning in. Hi, guys. Thank you guys for jumping on here. Okay. Let's see, I won't be able to pull up all these comments, though, but
Yes.
pull up some. Hello, Christy. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, guys. So, what do you have coming up? Anything fun? Any vacations? What do you have doing?
No vacations. No vacations. No time for vacations right now. I'm actually trying to my son's going to college, so I'm trying to get all of that paperwork done and out of the way. Yeah, so I just been doing a lot of stuff here, and with my other job, I'm trying to do, like I said before, like just local investigations around here. I'm just trying to put stuff together to do multiple locations and just have everybody come in doing smaller groups, and just have them investigate, you know, and do whatever they need to do. You know, skeptics or regular investigators, anybody and anything, you know, just to come in and just have them experience their own stuff. As you know, there's a lot of crap out there now. With a lot of people faking stuff, and you know, you have a lot of other people who have never been in the paranormal before looking at all these things out there, TikTok and YouTube. There are a few out there that obviously are not, you know, I want to say legit, but you know, they do fake a lot of stuff, and everything is just way out of proportion and all that crap. So I kind of want to get back down to small groups. You investigate yourself, you come up with your own experiences, and you find out whether, you know, what you believe, what your experiences are, and you have to debunk and all this other stuff. You know, kind of get back to where it was, because out there it's crazy, and unfortunately, there's so many people that are believing the wrong people. Yeah, so that's kind of what I am trying to do. And Christina, yes, Arlington Inn. I will see you there. May 4, we have the Arlington Inn in New Hampshire. It's a B&B. We actually investigated it maybe 6-7 years ago. And there was quite a bit of activity, and we haven't been there since. So we're kind of redoing it again. There was an issue last time. I can't go into it, but you know, always one in every group that, you know, you have issues with. Yeah, so this time there won't be any issues going there, but there's actually I think like a couple more tickets left available. So if anybody wants to go there, go to my Facebook post, you know, and everything will be there for you, just to go right in and click. I get I think it's like maybe 2 tickets left. Yeah, but again, I want to like just like have small groups, you know. So that's what I'm kind of going for.
We have a question for you, Shari. Can you see it?
My accent?
I got an accent too, so.
Yeah, you definitely have an accent. I am from upstate New York, but I live in Boston. Sorry, let me shut this off. But I live in Boston, so I guess I kind of have like a combination of those two. Yeah, I used to have like a really thick accent, but then I came here. Like they don't say their R's out here, So so for like a long time, I kept saying, like car, like trying to because there's so many people, like car and have it and stuff.
Well, I love it. I love the way you talk. And then you say to me, I think the last time you said, "Oh, I just your accent."
Yes, I love it. I love your
I
accent.
try to hide it sometimes because people are like, wait, you live in Ohio, where's this accent coming from?" I'm like, well, you haven't met my family. You haven't met my mother. She was born in Kentucky. And listen, I didn't even know this about my mother, but I recently found this out by her. My mother was born at a jail in Kentucky. Her parents were on their way. They were out driving, and my grandmother went into labor, and they had nowhere to pull over. And the jail was the only place
Oh my God.
my mother was delivered, at a jail. And I'm like, what? And this is in Kentucky. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of my family's on my mother's side from Florence, Kentucky.
Okay.
And so my mother's name is Billie Jean. I mean, come on now.
But I love it when you guys were in Salem and then hearing you guys all with your conversation. I'm like, it was so adorable. It was so cute. Just listening to you guys with your accent made me laugh. I'm like, yeah, they're so adorable.
Oh my gosh, we're a handful. You have no idea. And it is funny because I listen to how my sisters talk sometimes, and I'm like, you sound like dad. Like, oh my gosh, you sound so much like dad. And then it's like, wait a minute, you sound like mom. Just hearing the different, because my dad, he wasn't, he was born here. He wasn't from the South, but, and to hear the way the families talk, my mom's family, they all have that really bad Southern accent. So I grew up more around her family, but I was around my dad's family, my Italian family, but just the variety, and it just kind of stuck with me. And I've tried to hide it over the years because it's like, I'm not embarrassed of it, but just got tired of everyone like, oh, you're from here. What are you doing? Why are you talking like that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. The Walking Dead for extras. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that in Boston. They're casting for Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, I'm reading that right now.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Wes says, "Damn Italians." It is true.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So someone's saying Colleen has her PJs on.
Hi, Colleen.
Awesome. I will say this, you're right about the people, a lot of these people, faking things. That, to me, listen, my sisters and us, and even just when I'm out there, we have such a high energy and stuff when we're together investigating. It's like they're coming over here because it's like, oh, here's the party. Yeah.
What's you three? Yeah. We're like, live. They're all coming to you guys. Yes.
They're like, what in the world's going on over here?
Yeah.
So we do get a lot of different things, that happen. And, even when I'm out there, you don't always get a whole lot of stuff, but even if I get one or two little things, I'm happy. I'm like, well, I can walk away saying, well, this happened, that happened.
Yeah.
Nothing major, but
yeah,
you don't always get that, like Chastity's been waiting on her, she calls it her whoa moment. She hasn't had that. She hasn't seen a spirit. She's
the skeptic of the group, or no?
Bobby Joe is.
Oh, Bobby Joe. Okay.
But Shari, Bobby Joe is, I think we might be turning the skeptic around because like she was messaging me a few months ago and she's like, look, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm seeing spirits in mom's room. They're talking to me. And she goes, I don't know what to do. I said, no. I said, you can't be experiencing this because you're the skeptic. I'm like, what am I going to tell people? My skeptic is
Yeah.
now seeing, she's seeing the ghost, hearing the ghost.
Well,
And,
but you
you
know
know,
what? But I always tell people, I'm s- I go in skeptic. I believe it because I experienced it. But whenever I see a place, I don't say, "Oh my God, this looks haunted." I don't say that. I just say, "Wow, this is pretty cool. You know, this is a beautiful place." I go in there just assuming, no, it's not haunted, and they have to prove to me that there is activity. So I go in skeptic to like every place. As you know, most of the places are not going to be having activity because we can always try to figure out what else is going on, whether it's issues with the place or issues with the clients. You can, you know, a lot of places, and I'm not saying the ones on TV. I'm saying like every day when you go and investigate and helping clients and things like that. Um, so these people that are going and finding the demon in every place, you know, it's like, you know, just waiting for everybody to just say, okay, enough is enough. Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever come across anything like that, but I did. Oh, I just want to say, someone's asking if I'm seeing the comments. Amy, yeah, I'm seeing the comments, hon. I'm just talking a lot, and I'm just kind of glancing and throwing them on the live when I can. Hello, everybody tuning in. Um, the Ura shrine that I had told you about.
Yeah.
Well, there is some strange things there, and that is one of the darkest places.
I do,
Besides,
you know what? I do want to do something with you there.
yeah,
We'll plan something.
I have to get you to that location because
Where was it again?
it's the Ura Shrine.
Yeah.
Look it up on Facebook, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see all the pictures. You'll see a lot of us over there, and it's just flat out, it's got everything. And I can honestly say that there's things that I can't explain. I'm like, there's something's off with this place. But again, you're talking about a place where people go to do their rituals, their practices. So they're welcoming all
Right.
practices as long as there's nothing, you know, that involves to craziness, you know. So they're welcoming all this, you know.
Yeah.
And there's just all kinds of stuff there. I've only thing I can say is I had something, and listen, I've never experienced this, only at this location. This thing was manifesting on me. It was like I seen it through the reflection of a microwave, and that's the crazy part. I wouldn't even noticed it, and someone else was seeing it too. They were standing outside of the room, and they were watching this whole thing.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and this thing was like translucent looking. It was almost like looked like it was a little bit brown. That's the best way I can tell you. It looked, and it was like a little cloud of something like right here. And this is about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was going in there to get a piece of cake, and the chef was always cooking us food and bringing us food whenever we have investigations. I mean, they catered to us, and
Wow. I'm
so I'm
definitely going with you guys then.
cakes and everything. So, you know, I was just like, I'm going to get me a piece of cake 2 o'clock in the morning. So I walk in there, and I'm getting ready to get a cake, and there's a microwave right there next to where the cake was, and I just looked, and I could see myself through it, and I'm like, what the? And I started spinning around like I probably look like a mad woman. I'm like trying to get this thing off of me, Sherry. And I
Yeah.
did like a 180. It's just, and I swear to you, I seen this thing shoot underneath the table. And I just was like, what just happened? And I turn around and I look, and I see one of the members of the shrine standing there. And I said, Steve, I said, tell me you just seen that. He goes, Mandy, girl, you had something trying to manifest on you. And I was like, oh, man.
And of course you weren't filming, and there's no videos in that room, right?
No, there only had him standing by, and he
Yeah.
told me he had seen, you know, but it was all so quick. I mean, I thought I was losing my mind, but it
Yeah.
was so active that night. It was crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, I got to get you there.
Yeah.
I always tell people when I talk about the Ewer Shrine,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
know you talk about it so much, so I know that you definitely, it's one of your main places that you love to go to. So yeah, I definitely.
did you pull it up? Were you able to pull it
No,
up?
I didn't pull it up now because then I'll then I'll be over here reading. So I didn't want to do that.
Every- Hi, everybody tuning in. Okay, let's see. Somebody said something. Let me go back. Amy, I'm looking for your comment, girl. Let me see. Okay, what's this? Amy says you need to do Jersey. We have haunted mansions and old jails. Ooh, that would be nice.
I know. Well, a lot of places that we go, we kind of have to be called in. I mean, I can go on my own, but you notice like a lot of places, their rates are like hiking.
Yes.
You know, and it's just like I have a college that I have to pay for. I'm like, I can't go to these places, and you know, between travel and the locations, what they want for money, I'm like, I can't. You know,
Mhm.
just because I'm on Ghost Hunters doesn't mean that I can get into these places. It doesn't mean a damn thing. So I can't use that as a you know, hey, get me in there. Nope, I got to pay just like everybody else. So
And you know, most of these places I paid at one time or another, and so sometimes I become friends with them, and they allow us to get in there. So that is very good. And the Euro Shrine, since we are ambassadors of the shrine,
yeah,
um, you know, that I can get just about anybody in there
right,
because he trusts my judgment on who I'm bringing,
right.
and he would love it if I set something up, and if I told him I wanted to bring you, he'd be like, oh yeah, yeah. And his wife would love you. She's with High Heels and Hauntings. She's her own person. That's what she's called, High Heels and Hauntings. And yeah, you would love her.
Yeah.
She is a Gardarian witch.
Oh wow, never
Yeah.
heard that before. That's
And
amazing though.
it's interesting because you know, just because someone's a witch, you're not going to look at them and know right off the bat. You know,
Yeah,
she definitely is very, the way she dresses, high heels, very classy, and she's very sweet. And yeah, you would love to meet her.
I mean, you know, I live in Salem here, so
Oh yes, yes.
it's more of the people that just like look like regular people on the streets, you know, that are like the real witches, and then you have these other people that think that witches have this certain look, so they play the part, and it's like it's not like that though. So yeah, so I know about that.
Well, I have locations that I can definitely get you into with me for free. We get for free because these places that I get into, you know, they're not open for paranormal investigators, most of them, and so they have stuff going on, and they allow us to, you know, come check out the place. And unfortunately, when they let me check it out and it's free, I keep going back.
Right. Hey, if there's activity, you'll go back anywhere.
Yes. And it's free, so
Yeah.
I can't beat free.
Right. Right.
Okay, what's this, Amy? Police show. I know you said you were. I was a Amy. I was in law enforcement for 8 years. I was a corrections officer. I mean, I did carry weapons when I had to transport inmates and stuff, but not a police officer. I kind of felt like I was one in a way, you know, because we had to wear all the gear and everything, and then transporting the inmates, and yeah, it was pretty scary.
Okay.
I wasn't on no police shows or anything like that, although that would have been fun.
Right.
Sure.
That was fun. Wes, what's my favorite kind of red wine? I like Pinot Noir. There's a couple of ones that I really love, but I don't know if I can actually say what the names are because I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can say it. But Pinot Noir is my go-to red wine. I'm not a white wine person, so That is my answer.
Mine's reggae. And it's got a little Palm Beach on here on the label. Makes me, oh my gosh, it's like got a picture of tropical islands and stuff on here.
That'd be nice. Don't you have any places on tropical islands we can go to?
You know, I know I can find this one real quick. I know a lot of people. I could probably just put out the word, hey. But you know where I would love to go, and I mean this is far away, and I don't even know what they would charge. To the Island of Dolls.
Oh,
have you heard of the Island of Dolls?
I don't know. I think like, it sounds familiar, but I don't think it's anything I looked into because I'm not like a doll person.
But the story is there was a female child that had drowned there in the river, and this one guy kind of dedicated the island to her, and all these people would bring over dolls, and they were like hanging up little, I mean, pieces of dolls hanging on trees, and then this one area's just got all these creepy dolls. But their legend is they say that the dolls move and stuff. You know, legends are legends, but who knows? But they say it's haunted. You know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we've been to so many places that have dolls, obviously. And man, we tried and tried and tried for many, many years to get these things moving. And we have never seen one move, like ever. The only time I've ever seen anything, so I used to play with the Ouija board a long, 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 long time ago.
I did when I was younger too, Shari.
Yeah. So it's just like when you're, you know, doing all that. I never believed anything it said. First of all, I couldn't prove it. Secondly, the answers that it was getting was either something that I was thinking of or the people that I was playing with were thinking of. So I just kind of ignored everything it said, but I used to always get things to move. But without that, I couldn't move it, you know? So like that was kind of a, you know, like a little thing to help me to move things. I mean, I don't know how it worked, but so I used to get things moving there. The last time, not the last time, but the last time that I stopped using it for many, many years was because I don't know if I told you, it was like a pencil. I put a pencil in the middle of the table. Now I had like my family in from New York, so my cousins and stuff. So I put a pencil in the middle of on the coffee table, and I said, okay, whoever's here, can you please move the pencil so that everybody can see it? Because everybody wanted me to play this to prove to them that I could just move things. You know, so, and there was always an excuse with everything else I moved. So, you know, it's just like, all right. So I put the pencil there and it flung off the table. So it flung off the table and it whipped by my friend's head. So she was kneeling on the ground because, like I said, like probably like 12 people there. And it whipped by her head. And I was like, oh my God, you know, so like scared the crap out of me. So I went to go and get it. So still, I had a person saying, oh, somebody could have just blown that off. And I'm like, nobody blew that hard to make like a pencil whip by. So I grabbed the pencil, I put it back on the coffee table. I'm like, okay, please move it without letting it leave the table. Move it. And all of a sudden, like it did like the twist like this. But then it like went in circles and circles and circles. And, you know, so it was like, does everybody see it? And everybody's like, holy shit. Yeah, we do. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed the pencil. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Goodbye. And like, I didn't use that for like many, many years.
Really?
That pencil shooting off, like that freaked me out. Like anything, I could move you know, whatever it was, they would do it or something would do it for me. But because of that pencil, I was like, oh my God, I don't know. So that, yeah, that scared me. So I stopped using that. The first time that I used it again was actually at the Lizzie Borden house. I was doing an event there a few years ago, and we were in the living room area, and people wanted to see the Ouija board, like, you know, but nobody wanted to touch it. So there was a couple of people. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, you know, like I'll do it fine. and a couple of us there. Well, again, because you're trying to have people, you're trying to prove that something happens, to people that are not involved. You know what I'm saying? So like visually, you need to show that something is going on. So again, we asked, can you do something, in front of everybody, just move something in front of everybody so that everybody knows, like what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden the planchette was, how was it? Because we had to stand up. Oh, the whole board was moving. So the planchette was still, but the whole board was moving instead. So we had to like stand up to like, keep going around in circles. I mean, we can't do that. Like we just have, like that, it's impossible for any of it. We didn't do it, and so that kind of showed them like, holy crap, how does that even, I don't know. I have no idea, but all of our energy's in there and we're moving things and whatever. But that's the only reason why I would play with it. I wouldn't get any answers from it. I would never use it on a real case, because I don't really know these answers if they're true or not. So even if the Ouija board says, hey, Joe, this is Joe from 1873, but I can't find it anywhere, like, I don't know if there's really like, I don't know.
Yeah. So you don't know if it's validation or, or not.
Not real proof, but, again, a lot of people go by it, but it's really not real proof.
Did you ever, when you were younger, did you ever do that light as a feather, stiff as a board?
I did not.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I did not do that.
Oh, you didn't do it? I thought you said you did.
No, I did not do that.
Really? I don't know. I want to say, so hard to remember, God. I want to say maybe we tried something crazy like that.
I would think you three sisters would be up to something like that.
I don't know if I think it was with my friends. I want to say maybe we did. I can't remember, but there's some people use the table tipping.
Oh, now, yeah, we did that too. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's
I honestly like it's kind of like the same thing as the Ouija board for me.
Yeah.
Again, it's not like I got any answers. I just got this table that was moving. I did it one time, and I did it because I wanted to see what it was all about, and I wanted to see like what was going on. And the same thing kind of happened where all of a sudden the table's, like on its side. And I'm like looking down, like, what the hell? Like there was nothing around there. Nobody
recorded.
Big. I do have this was a long time ago. I do have it recording, but I don't know if I, I don't know if I still have it. But yeah, like I still looked and, there was nothing there. And I had like people on the bottom because I want that. Like anybody and everybody tell me like what is going on. I want to know if something's going on. If anybody's screwing with whatever we're doing, I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
People were sitting like down there. Somebody that I can trust, was down there. And, she's like, no, it wasn't. And even I was like looking at because the table was up like this. So basically it would have been like where I was, like in this area. So I'm like, obviously I'm not doing it. And the person right there is not doing it. And then it's those two people, and then I had somebody over there looking to, like, it wasn't on anything. So it was like, what the hell's, so that was, that was strange. Again, I like doing different things and trying to, like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I don't do it on investigations, like, especially working for clients. That's not something that I would normally do. But if somebody wants to do anything on an event, that's fine. Let's test it out. If that's what you want to experience, sure, go right ahead. It's up to you.
We tried it one time at a place we paid to go to, just because I was so hearing about it, and I was like, you know what, let's try this out, and there was about, I think 4 of us, and we didn't get anything though. But again, you never know. But that's the only time we've ever tried anything like that, was when we paid to go to a location, just that one time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I was doing it correctly. Hell, I was probably messing everything up, Just kind of like had our hands above the table. I don't know. I was just
Yeah.
moving
Oh,
on.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like the same thing as the Ouija board. Like, you just get it to move, and it's like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but
I know, right? You just, I don't know. But I like to try different things too, but you're right. When you're doing a residential case, you don't want to go in there bringing in the Ouija boards, and you don't want to go in there bringing in, stuff like that.
yeah,
You kind of want to stick to the basics.
yeah. Amy, oh, so it was, wait a second. I think I'm like way back. Is Shari enjoying the GH filming break? I am enjoying the break. Thank you, Lana. I'd like to get back to work though, because I need a break from home now. So eventually get back to work. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi.
Shari, what haunted locations are around you?
Notable locations with reputations for being haunted include Alcatraz, the former ocean liner RMS Queen.
I said Siri, and I said,
no, yeah, I get every time somebody says Shari, Siri pops up. It's like,
I might got my phone on silent and turned down and everything.
Yeah, and I am not near Alcatraz, so she's wrong. Places near me. There's quite a few places near me. The problem is that like I'm trying to get locations in where I live, Danvers, Salem, Peabody. We used to all be Salem a long, long time ago when the whole witch trial and all that, and then everything kind of broke off. Danvers was the old Salem village. So we do have a lot in the area. However, a lot of them don't like people coming in here to investigate. There's also that Salem part where there are many people who want to keep that history and keep that, oh, yeah, this is the most haunted whatever place it is. But they don't want us coming in because we're going to.
You might debunk some of the claims.
They don't want us to do that.
You bring the ghost hunters in here.
It's like, well, if you're active, you're active. Like whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so over the years, I've had so many issues with that. And I'm constantly getting people, we're coming into Salem and, we want to investigate, but that's why I'm trying to, I guess over the last couple of years, it's been a little bit better because of the paranormal, it's out there more. So it's kind of a little bit better. So I'm actually getting people to be like, oh yeah, that would be great. So I'm just trying to get a few locations going so I could do like a rotation investigation. We can go around and just investigate a bunch of places all, like in one day or 2 days or whatever. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get that.
I need to go out that way. I need to get a location out that way. I really do. Because I don't think I'm trying to think. I don't think we've ever had one that direction. I mean, us girls, when we came to Salem and we were with you all weekend, you took us around to some places, but that's not the same.
Right. Right. I mean, that's like outside investigating. Inside things. There are some not Salem local, but local as in Massachusetts local, like the SK Pierce. Oh God, there's a couple, the Middleborough, there's the Oliver House. Oh God, sorry everybody, because I can't remember the names. But there are a few local ones around here that are pretty good.
Are they expensive?
It's not too bad. Not too bad. But I had activity in each one. So I can, with a peace of mind, like I can recommend them because I definitely had activity in all of them. but they're not really close to me. So I'm just trying to find a place that's kind of close, so we can just go there. And again, I just want just people to just come in and experience things themselves, because we do have a lot of skeptics, and that's fine. I work with skeptics all the time, and I'm like, that's fine, because we can work together, because that helps us with the debunking situation. Like, what do you think? What about, so we're not hiding anything. We're trying to figure out, what's going on and who it is and all of that stuff. So it's not me. I don't care. I don't care who comes in. We work together to try to figure out what's going on.
Christy wants to know if you've ever investigated a bridge or anything outside that had like a legend on, how you hear about the Rosemary baby thing, the crybaby bridge thing.
No.
No.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't think I've ever investigated a bridge. It's hard for me to investigate. I've investigated outside before, but I like more inside things. Obviously, you go to locations if there's like cemeteries and stuff like that. It's like I've investigated things like that, but I never investigated. I don't know. I never investigated a bridge.
I have, and it was it was different.
Yeah.
Well, because I like to look up, go different places. Like, I like hearing about the legends and stuff, and then I like to go over there and check out these places. And I was looking at, me and my friend Christy, we were looking for a cemetery to investigate. And, you can't be out investigating past a certain time at these cemeteries. I mean, you can, but you can't.
But you're supposed to.
That's right. And here I'm out there investigating late at night. My husband's like, you can't be out there. Don't, and, he's like, we don't want you getting, because one time I was investigating when I worked in law enforcement, but it was at a house that had just, a church that had just burnt down, that was turned into apartments. And it was said to be really active. And I was there during the day investigating a little bit, and unfortunately, I was on someone's property and I got a ticket. And it was funny because when the officer came to my house, he knew me from working in law enforcement, and he was like, I'm so sorry, but but I was fortunate that they knew me and just kind of laughed about it, and then just dismissed,
Yeah.
And but my husband's like, you might not get so lucky. You better not. I'm like, so that kind of freaked me out. I'm like, oh, he's right. I better not chance it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. That's the other thing. Like, if anybody ever saw me walking around and then I get caught, and it's not good for the reputation. So
No.
try to stay, a good girl. I try. That reminds me of when I used to live the Danvers State Hospital. I think they closed it down in the 80s, but I used to live in there after it, like, they tore down some of the buildings. The main building is there, but they tore down a lot of these buildings, and they built condos, or apartments, I should say. And so when I used to live there, it was like 3 years that I lived there. And I had a lot of people because people knew what I did. So I always told, the people, at the office, if anybody has any issues, you can contact me. I'll help them. And we have no issues. It's just like, this place isn't haunted. We have no. I'm like, okay, but if you do have issues, I'm like, like, if you need to, whatever. So that was a back and forth. But then people figured out who I was and what I did. So I helped a lot of people there, and it's definitely active. But there was one where so in the front of the building, I think there's like 2 cemeteries. But in the front of the building, there's one of the cemeteries, and it kind of goes down. And from what I was told, a lot of the bodies were just dumped down, and like in like the woods area, you'll see like a bunch of tombstones and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I was investigating with a friend of mine I think this was like her first time investigating. But we were sitting there and we were trying to like go down the row of like all the names and stuff like that. And then I had, of course, the machines all set up, and it was just quiet the entire time. And then all of a sudden, it was dark. I don't even know what time it was. It was late. But it was like over an hour where it's just like, okay, it's just like there's nothing going on. But then all of a sudden there's this kid that comes through. So now it's all off. It's all like all these woods, and so it's kind of like cornered off. And then there's like an opening, but even before the opening, it looks like a cornfield, like before the opening. And so this kid comes in and he looks like he belongs on Grease. Like he's got like a leather jacket on and like feathered hair and stuff like that. We were like, what the hell? And all of a sudden our machines like were going off, and like all the machines. And we, we had the recorder and stuff. And he's like, how do you get to the highway and stuff like that? I'm like, what do you do?
What?
The highway's way down there, and yeah, it's just a really weird, because both of us were like, holy, like, I mean, hair like standing up. And so we're like, go back there, follow the road to go back, like just follow the road, keep following the road, you'll hit the highway. And, he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes back and then he just disappears. And we're like, and, like we, to this day, like we have no idea what it is. We never went back. We didn't check it out, but we're like, what the hell? Cause it was like, that was the only time all the machines went up. And then when I went to go back to listen to the recorder, the whole thing was just static. So we had everything else. When he was there, it was like, shh. And then,
did he look like a person? I mean, did he look like a person?
Yeah, he looked like us, but he just looked like he was
from another time, like a
late 70s biker, but like a John Travolta type of guy.
that would have been like, oh, I'd have been questioning his ass. I got questions. You come
sit down here for a second. Yeah, we were just just because it was just so quiet the entire time. I guess we were kind of like, like, I don't know. We were just like stunned, and then he left, and we're like, what the hell was that? And then after that, we went back into the building, and then they have like all tunnels and stuff, and of course it's all closed down, but like we try to get as deep as the tunnels as possible. And while we were down there, lights were going on and off and stuff. I'm sure they probably don't want me to talk about this, but it's true. And so
that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was, I mean, when we were living in there, when I first moved in there, I kind of like went into my room, and I was like, into the apartment, and I was like, that's okay if I see you. My husband was living with me. Like, he can see you, we can hear you, we can see you. I don't care. That's fine. You do whatever you want to do. I said, but I don't want my kids to see you. I don't want them to hear you. I don't want them to see, like, nothing. Just stay out of their rooms. And they were good. Most of the time, my son said he saw a few things like out of his, like closet, but he was just, and went back to bed. And then my daughter came to me one time, and she's like, they're moving things around. I can't sleep. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, fine. So we go back in there, and, my kids have been in it their whole lives. So, I'm like, okay, you need to say this. So I said what I needed to say. And then she said what she needed to say, basically, like repeating me. And then after that, nothing again. I used to see things, running around. They would see like, the living room is outside, and my door was open, and I saw something like rush into the bottom of like the bed. But it was most black shadows, just like, like small and large. And but it's pretty cool.
This guy, Dan, he's someone's asking. Oh, he's inviting us. Can you see his comment, Shari? Dan Moreno.
Okay.
Can you read his comment?
Yep. I was a neglected cemetery. Oh.
Wants to invite us to the New Castle, Pennsylvania.
Oh. Wait a second. Then I don't think I'm at the right one because this one's in Ohio.
Okay, so if you go all the way, it's all the way down at the very end. Here, I'll pull it up and you can read it.
That'd be easier. Thank you. Newcastle, Pennsylvania, at the Hillview Manor. Youngstown Ghost Hunters are hosting if you'd like to join. March 29, huh? Oh, I don't think I'm available March 29. Well,
thank you for the invite, though.
Thank you. I mean, some other. Oh God! Oh yeah, that's Easter weekend. Yeah, that's Easter weekend. But thank you. But we definitely should, yeah, come go together somewhere.
Yes, listen, I'm down. I'm ready to travel. I haven't traveled since we went with, well, far away was with Paranormal Reality TV with JV and them.
Yeah.
And actually, that wasn't too far. We just went to Indiana, which was only a couple hours from where I live. But still, I don't get to. I haven't traveled that far yet. Tennessee, I guess, in January. But yeah, I would love to get you to Missouri. You remember I was telling you about Cooper Hill?
Well, so this place or the other place? Which one's?
There, I got tons. And, I don't know, but how far away Missouri is for you. But this is a location that I had told you about, that they were having all kinds of stuff going on. Do you remember me telling you about that? Cooper Hill. It's a house that she owns all this property, and it used to be a village. Of course, they're all abandoned.
I have a really bad memory, so I'm sorry.
It's okay, but she wanted you guys to come and check it out.
Oh, okay. Yes. Now, yeah.
This place is, I can personally tell you, this place is crazy active. We took Paranormal Reality TV there, and you should have seen JV. He was a little freaked out.
Yeah.
He was seeing shadow figures, and it was so funny because he's like, and we actually captured a door slamming shut. At the same time, we were downstairs investigating because they pieced it all together. Mm-hmm. We were live, and JV, we had stuff coming through the spirit box, it was all tying up together to all these events that was taking place.
Yeah.
And little did we know that the door had slammed shut upstairs, and we were downstairs in another room investigating, but we were hearing things and getting stuff coming through that box that was just insane. It really was. And then they found, after going back looking, that door at the same time had actually slammed shut, and things get knocked over there because there's an antique store downstairs in the Cooper Hill house. So we all spent the night there all weekend, and everybody was experiencing things. Yeah. And even Brett, he slept in one of the most haunted rooms, and he said he was on the phone, and he's talking to someone, and he said, I'm on the phone talking, and the door is rattling like someone's trying to, wanting to come in. And he said, I had to tell them to stop, It's a very,
come on in.
very interesting place, and you would love it. It is. It's good.
Yeah. Rosemary, no, I live in Massachusetts. I'm not in Ohio.
Man, if Shari lived in Ohio, we would be, oh my gosh. I would be
constantly.
Hi, Chris.
It's Williams. Mwah.
She loves my memes. It's so funny because sometimes she'll have a little spider coming down, and like she's going to grab my meme and take it.
Yeah.
So yeah. You guys post some funny memes. But yeah, too bad you weren't closer, because how far away are we? I mean, because
I don't know, but I was thinking of wherever you are, wherever I am, to kind of like meet somewhere in the middle to do something, you know?
We need to. So we should Google this.
And then Chris Williams needs to come from Arizona to be with us.
Oh my gosh. That's a road trip, Arizona. I took a train out to New Mexico, my husband and I did, and we were actually out there by Arizona, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Yep, she left me from New England, and now she's out in Arizona. Left us here.
Is she from Arizona, or she just?
No, she's from here.
She's
from New England, but she moved out to Arizona. Who? What? Me? I don't feel like getting arrested. Come on, the three of us in a jail cell. Be go.
Let's go. But yeah, we need to figure out the distance here. I think it'd be awesome getting together and going to a location somewhere and just see what we get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some looking around and seeing. I would need to know like exactly like. So I remember you're real close to Salem. So I mean, like minutes away from Salem. So when we went to Salem, we timed that. We couldn't have timed it. The way it all timed out was like it was meant to be, because we literally had a hotel that was so close to you, close to Salem. It was just all perfect timing.
Yeah. No, it's a fun town. If you can get into places, like I said, I'm trying to talk as many people as I can. So hopefully the next time you guys come, I will have a place to investigate. I don't know when that's going to be, but get with your sisters, check it out.
I'm going to tell my sisters it's road trip time or hasta la vista, ladies. I'm out. As a matter of fact, Chastity, I tried to call her and I don't know, she's on the road to Texas. So right. she's on a business trip. They got a big event for her business and she's driving 18 hours for her.
Oh
and
my God.
She always complains about driving. She can't stand to drive, but let me tell you, for her business, she'll go all the way across state driving.
Oh my God, there's no way I'd be driving. No. I will buy a ticket. There's no way.
I think she does do a lot of flying too. She was telling me that it was costing, like prices were crazy just to fly out there. So she's like, no, I'll drive.
Oh my God. I can't.
But I told her, I said, Chastity, have you seen the gas prices lately? They're a little high. She's got this new SUV she's driving. So I don't know.
So Chris is your husband, right?
Yes.
Hi, Chris. See a little smile. Hello.
He's funny. And Shari, oh my gosh, I do wish you were closer, because this location where I've been to now 3 times, the sanitarium, this huge sanitarium in my hometown, girl, now let me tell you, this place is off the chain. Yeah. I mean, that has a long history here. It was a doctor built this. It was a hospital, but it also, they took in patients that were mentally ill too. So it kind of was like an asylum too. They housed all kinds of people there for years. And the doctor had moved his house and put it on the back of this location where he built this huge hospital. I think it's like 55,000 square feet, 60, something like that. Huge. And so he had his house put behind it, right?
Yeah.
And he grew plants and medicine trying to heal people from tuberculosis and all that crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't just a hospital. So after those years in the early 1900s, it became a place where they rented out offices for people that had businesses. And then in the early 80s, it became apartments. So yeah, and I don't know how anybody could live there without getting lost. I was so turned around in this place. I was like, I swear I was going to circles. I don't even know how many laps I've done in this place trying to figure out.
That's the thing. Like when you do these big places, a lot of every floor looks like the same floor. So you don't know where you are, what floor you're on. Like you don't know what. This is crazy around in the dark. So it's like, where the hell?
We were on the second floor. You had to go to the second floor just to get to the basement.
So if there's a lot of places out there, I can go out there for like a long weekend and we can check all these places out.
Girl, come on over to Ohio, because listen, I've got boom, 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 boom. I'm telling you.
It's just, that's why, like, I don't know, New England's very tough with the whole, hey, I'm haunted, location. It's very, very tough. I keep trying to talk to a lot of people, but they want nothing to do. They're like, oh, people will say, God, how do they say it? Something about we don't get into that type of stuff or something, like, I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's thing, and it's crazy because it's like you try to talk to the owners of a location and they're like, you want a what? What? I'm like, look, we'll bring you business because, we go live. We got, people like to watch,
Yeah.
and I think they kind of worry about that. But it's true, though. We have investigated restaurants in our hometown, and they have gotten a lot of customers. And
that's what I'm trying to do out here is tell them, like when we investigate and we can do these live, you'll have more people coming to you. Like right now, they don't know you. They don't know your place. They don't, and if there's activity, then there's more groups that want to come out and then they'll, rent out your place. And so, I mean, but again, like I said, like, I feel like there's more that are accepting it nowadays than before. It's, it's been really tough trying to get through to that.
Yeah. Well, the sanitarium that I was telling you about. Now, my husband is a skeptic person. Now, which cracks me up because he has seen stuff in our house. He has seen the lady in white, and he has heard. Listen, he used to come home, and I would be asleep because he was working second and I was on first. And this man would literally come in there, waking me up, saying, "What'd you want? Why are you yelling for me? I am sleeping. Leave me alone. I got to be up in the morning. Why would I be? I'm not yelling for you, And he would always hear them saying his name. He would hear different things and even seeing things move in our house. I mean, and he still, and it's a good thing, he questions everything. Right. But it was so funny because, and he's been on quite a few investigations with me, but he went with me Saturday. There was three of us, another friend of mine from Indiana, and my husband was with us. And he was really nervous. Like, I think it's because there has been people that have gotten into this building. I want to say probably the homeless people in there. They've been sleeping in this place. It clearly looks like somebody might have been living in the place. And the guy who owns the place, he's like, no, nobody's in here. I'm like, you might want to go back through and check because I don't remember seeing this room set up this way, So there are definitely people sneaking in and partying. But it was funny because my husband, we were hearing walking around, and my husband's like, Mandy, somebody's here. Somebody's walking around. I'm like, well, I don't know. It could be a person, could be a spirit, and he's like,
being skeptic, did you tell him go and look?
I can't carry all my equipment around in this huge location. So I would just take like a bag, with me. And of course I'm live, and I wanted to get out my brand new, it's the brand new SLS camera, the 3D version. And I love it. And I'm like, I asked my husband to go get it. I could sense the nervousness in this man, and he works in law enforcement, and it's like, I have never seen him scared. He was nervous. And I don't know if it's because he's thinking, well, what if someone is hiding out here and I'm going to get into
the living, that is another thing.
Or is it
have to be careful of, you have no idea if there are people that are actually, like, the living is actually there.
We ended up doing a search because even my friend was like, Mandy, we need to search this place. We need to do a walkthrough, and we're getting lost walking through this place, but we're going on every floor, checking all the rooms and saying, hey, if anybody's in here, you better get out, just double checking. And We didn't come across anyone, but that's not to say someone didn't sneak out, because this place was so big that you could be on one side because it like wraps around. It's hard to explain it. It's like a castle looking thing. And you're not going to hear us. You're not going to hear us. And we're not going to hear someone if they're here, that they're trying to sneak away. But there was some crazy stuff. And it was so funny, Shari, because my husband's face, his jaw dropped, because I love my intercom box and my ink box. I do. And it's a direct link, the intercom box that I have. And I like to turn it on and see what comes through. And then I'll do a EVP burst with my recorder to see, if it matches up. Well, I had the intercom box on and I'm asking, I'm like, can you tell me your name? Well, I hear this voice come through and this man, he says, Philip. And then I swear to you, girl, clear as day, this man goes, Mandy. And Shari, it was like he was right there with us. And it sounded like it didn't even come through the box. My husband, I look at him, he said, that thing just said your name, Mandy. And his face just dropped. And I said, yeah, dude. I'm like, oh my God.
And is he still skeptic after all this?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, this doesn't, when Jay Prather built this intercom box, he blocked out all the radio frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he says you should not get no radio frequencies with this. So he's like, it's supposed to be straight communication. So when I'm getting the spirits are saying my name, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had spirits say a lot of things to me, not nice. And I can't, and it's so bad that I really can't tell you. I'll tell you off the air, but there's a lot of, but it's just like the living, like it's just living or dead. There's still a lot of perverted people out there. Let's just say that.
Oh, I know that we were at a speakeasy here in close to my hometown. It was in Bucyrus at the Crazy Fox Saloon where Al Capone had hung out. Mm-hmm. And they actually had a seat dedicated to Al Capone. And, we'd be down there and we're live and we're talking. You got all these ladies, we got shot glasses, cards and stuff. And we're just trying to get communication. And of course, they're messing with Chastity's hair. They're coming through our devices saying, hey, ladies, I'm single. One even said, I'm not wearing a ring, and we're like, oh my gosh, these spirits are getting really perverted right now. But you think about that, a lot of men were in speakeasies. I'm pretty sure they had some of the women that were, I don't know.
Well, that's why a lot of people ask, to do like an all women. Now I know that you guys do all women and you guys get a lot of responses. I always like to do, women and men, only because, speakeasies, it's all for, we could just go in there and, and get a lot of, responses and stuff. But then you also need some of the guys that will, because, there's a lot of people, I should say men a long time ago who would only speak to the men and not the women, or these ladies that love the men, they'll go to them, or you get children who might feel better with me than the, or, it could be anything, and you never know what you're going into.
And sometimes they won't talk to us ladies because, it was men.
Right. Yeah. And and that's good to be a trigger object in a only men's place, and then us women go in and they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And then we get a lot of responses, from them. So you never know.
You ever, we investigated one of our old clubs here in our hometown. And it's so funny, girl, because when we were younger, we used to all go out to this club and have fun, dancing and good time. And it's, of course, abandoned now. And we went out there to investigate. It was just so weird. And they actually played music, and we kind of was trying to get the energy flowing again, And do you ever do anything like dancing, just goofing off to try to get that, from them? I did.
Well, like you would try, obviously like the first night you kind of go in there with nothing. Like, okay, let's not, we have the claims of why we're going there. And then we try to figure out afterwards, like the history and all of that. And if they're in that whatever room that we're going into, if they're known for doing, like big balls and having big balls, big like dance things and like having all of that, the old music or somebody playing the piano, or if it's a church, do church music, we would always try to use whatever we could to have something. We can only do so much. If you've seen it on the show, we could only do so much because of the music. You can only put certain music on TV. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's certain music that you can't have on TV. So we would do music that they wouldn't be able to air because of licensing and all of that. So we would use all of that, but then we would try to be like, okay, well, we're getting their response, so let's find something that they can air because, that we don't have to worry about all of legal issues. So then we would find something like that. But we would always, wherever you are, you kind of have to figure out how you can communicate with these people.
Well, yes, Christy, I'm talking about the club at the mall, which was a lot of different names, males, gators. But yeah, my sisters and them, I got out there on the dance floor, and I just was goofing off. I was out there just dancing a little bit, and we're live.
That's a thing that you need to do also, though, because, a lot of times they're kind of like out here, and they're just like looking at us, either they're scared or they're like, what the hell is going on with these people or whatever it is, So you need to joke around and completely kind of sort of ignore them for a little bit and just get into whatever mood that you can so that they feel comfortable, and then they'll start the conversations going. And I know somebody was asking, hi, Cody. Somebody's asking about shadow figures. I said this, I think maybe last time too. Shadow figures is one of the most top thing that I experience. I've seen more shadow figures than anything. And where I live, I see shadow figures all the time. So whether I'm,
do you see weird? Describe when you see the shadow figures. Do they look like people, or do they look like blobs? Or
to me, it looks like people running. like I'm always like seeing people running around, and it just looks like it has like that person figure, and then I see them, just running. My son has seen just a figure just standing there. Just, the person would just stand there. My son sees a lot of things. But most of the time when I see it, I see a lot of things running around. That is the most thing that I actually.
I have seen things, and it's for me. If they want me to see them with my eyes, I'll see them. I have seen orbs, and not always, but I have seen. I think maybe 4 times I've seen orbs with my eyes. I have seen the lady in white in my house. And yeah, it's pretty crazy because my husband kept seeing this lady. He said, he's like, he would accuse. Now my daughter, she was still in school then, and she's asleep. This used to be her room before I made it my office. And she would be asleep. My husband working second shift, he'd stay up late, and I would be asleep, and my husband would be out there. And he said he would just see this lady with really long hair just standing there looking at him. And he said, yeah, lady in white. And he'd be like questioning if it was my daughter. And I'm like, what? No, the child has school in the morning. She's sleeping. You wouldn't. why would she just be staring at you for one, you know? But he would see this woman, and actually there was a grandma that died in this room right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I wondered if it was her, because I only seen her the one time, and it looked like she was coming from here and going into the other room, and she was all in white. And this was during the day. I was just cleaning house. I'm on the phone with my friend talking and making my bed, and I looked down the hallway because I don't know why I looked. I just did, and I seen it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Now, did she go through the wall, or she was walking down the hallway?
She went from this room straight across, and actually, I think she did go through the wall, because if you open at the door, there's a wall right there. So, and you'd have to go down the hallway a little bit more, and then there's another big room. So she actually did. She did go through the wall. She went right from this room here straight across.
Because we usually like think of that as a residual, you know, like intelligent, you know, like
Yes.
the line is getting to me now. Sorry.
My husband was seeing her watching, like he said she was peeking around just kind of standing there. He said he's seen her a couple times, and I'm like, and Shari, this is crazy, because my husband, when he got to work, because he used to be the sergeant, you know, years ago before he became the captain, and I was on first shift and my husband was on second. And so when he got to work, I would have an hour before I was leaving. He would get in an hour early. So I remember calling him up, and I was like, look, I said, I got to tell you what happened to me. I said, you're never going to believe this. And I told him. He said, Mandy, he said, I was going to tell you the same thing. I seen the same thing last night. I said, no freaking way. He goes, yeah. He goes, I thought it was you or Allie. And I was like, no, it wasn't us. And yeah, so our stories, we both were seeing her.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the skeptic, right?
Yes, my husband is the skeptic.
Experiencing all these things. Yeah.
I mean, the man, it's funny because a spirit could be right in front of him and he's still going to be like,
listen, you know what? People always ask me, like, why don't you ever, you know, like freak out, or why don't you have like any expressions and things? And my thing is like, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. You know, you've experienced things, I've experienced things. So if I see something, I'm not going to be like, holy, you know, no, I'm going to figure out what the hell I'm looking at. You know, like it's intriguing, it's interesting, it's fascinating. Like all of these things are going through my head, not like, holy shit, I have to go because, oh my God, you know, it's not that way. So I get startled, you know, as many times you know, where I've gotten startled, but then you kind of just have to calm yourself down and figure out like, okay, what is really going on? Am I really seeing a real person, or am I, you know, or is this a spirit, or what is going on? So that's when you have to start to go through the debunking thing. Like, okay, what am I seeing? Is this a real person? And try to have a conversation. Now I can't even remember where I was going with that.
It's the wine, Shari. Girl.
Oh boy.
First class.
So I mean, I get the whole, you know, like you know, like what he's going through is like, I understand. Yeah, I've seen it, but I still don't know if I believe it, you know, and all of that. So I get where he's coming from. And like I said, going in as a skeptic, that's what I go into, like absolutely every place. Like I don't know, and I don't care what anybody else said. I don't care what anybody else experienced. I just have to go in myself and experience it yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Listen, my husband has said he's heard me coughing when I would be out on investigations, and we're the only one. Our kids are grown up and they're out on their own, so we're the only ones here. And my husband's like, Mandy, I swear I heard you coughing in the kitchen. I heard someone coughing and it sounded like you.
Well, you know, so now the other thing is that there's another haunted thing, whatever you call it.
Doppelganger?
No, but like another type of residual. So, you know, like your energy is in this pocket, you know, so you're going to see the living, you know, just because you see something doesn't mean that the person is dead. It just means that person is is in that spot, and they have some energy there for whatever reason it is. So seeing something doesn't mean that the person is dead, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So maybe if you were like coughing and whatever, he could be hearing residual sounds of you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you doing it. It's not like the spirit's doing it. It's just that could be, again, I don't know because I'm not there, but it could be just a residual sound that you make there. Like he could see you coming around the corner and then later on be coming down the stairs somewhere else. And he'd be like, what the hell? I just saw you over there. It could just be your energy that's in that area.
Oh, I hope it happens one time to him when I'm not here.
I don't. I do too. Sorry, Chris, but yeah.
Freak his ass out.
I mean, I've even seen it here. Like, my aunt's living with me right now, and I've seen her coming down the corner, like coming down. Like I heard her coming down the stairs and coming around the corner, and I'm just, washing dishes, whatever, and I'm like, what? It's like she just came around the corner. What the hell is she doing? Like, where did she go? I don't know where she went. And like a half an hour later, she came down the stairs and came around the corner. I'm like, did you go upstairs? Because I'm always questioning myself. So I had to ask her. She's like, no, I was just upstairs. I was just sleeping. I just came downstairs right now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So just because you see something, it doesn't mean that that person is dead. You're not seeing a spirit or an entity.
Do you believe in doppelgangers? Do you believe in that?
I do, only because that was my experience of that person holding me down. Okay. That was a doppelganger of my boyfriend at the time, which is now my ex-husband. So yeah, absolutely.
So Dan has a question here. I'm just going to pull it up for you because it's quite long.
What doesn't anyone ever find the answers to questions like how are the spirits able to interact with our devices like K2 and pods, or how they work? Honestly, Dan, I don't think that we really have any answers to anything. Some people think that they might have the answers, but honestly, I don't think that we really have the answers to everything. There's so much to know. There's so much to learn. And I just feel like every time we think we know something, that kind of makes another 1,000 questions of what the hell. Okay, so if that's true, then this, and this, and then we have more questions. Yeah, so unfortunately, I honestly don't think that we're. I just think it's really hard to. What I'm trying not to do is say anything bad about certain people. So
I know you're wording around it.
How do I say this nicely? It just, you know what? Because I think it just irritates me, along with many other legitimate investigators out there, with a lot of people coming in the last, I'll say, like 2 years or so. They are experts. They know what they're doing. All of a sudden, they're doing conventions and they're saying, oh, I know this and I know that, and I'm an expert and and whatever. And it's all bullshit. It's like this field is all about experience. Just because you were in it for the last 2 years, or you say you were, just because you were just doing videos here and there, doesn't mean that you're an expert in all of that crap. Unfortunately. So the people that have been out there for 20 to 30 years or even 40 years, we still don't have those answers. Unfortunately, when I do investigations, I like to try to figure out what I can. I like to try to get in touch with who I can, because I do believe in the afterlife. I do believe in reincarnation. But again, this is all personal stuff because of everything that I've experienced. So, there's no going to college and getting a certificate and making you an expert in anything professional.
No.
So this business, I don't want to say business, but this industry has become so much like, oh, I've done this and I've done that, and give me more likes over experience and over what you should be doing, I should say. Not the whole every place has a demon and every place is scary and all this other crap. I've seen so many people going to the same places as us that we've been through in many years. And we go to these locations for at least a week, so sometimes we're there for 3 weeks and we don't find a demon, like we don't find a lot of this shit that everybody's finding in one day, and I know for a fact that some people just go away and just for like maybe an hour.
Well, and that's why I like to go back to these places, I keep going back and back and back.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my God, and again, you can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Whatever. But what I don't like is that unfortunately these people believe, a lot of these people that are watching this stuff believe them. And then they believe in, oh my God, the demons. And then you hear so many stories of these people having like issues. Oh my God, yeah, I think I'm being possessed because of this and that. And it's just like, it's just, it's making things worse.
They're going to keep messing around and manifest that. And then.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'll just keep drinking.
So
and yes, what is it? Slacktastical? Yes. Flying tears.
Here's to you, buddy. So this person says, ladies, your experiences, have there ever been places you definitely would not go back to, and why?
No, I'll
go back to all of them.
Right. The only places I would not go back to is if they didn't have any activity whatsoever. And it was a place where people say that they had stuff and we just disproved absolutely everything. No, I don't want to go there. But every place that has activity, absolutely. We'll go back in a second.
Do you believe in demons, Shari?
I believe in the good and the bad. I don't. I've never come across anything that was evil in my life. Even when I was like held down, I seriously wouldn't say it was a demon. Like I know people would be like, oh, they, held me down. Oh my God, it's a demon. No, like even though I couldn't move and I couldn't talk or anything, I still wouldn't say it was a demon. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I know I'm going to get your ass into the shrine. I know I'm going to get you into the shrine. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to listen to the caretaker talk about his thoughts on a demon, because he doesn't look at demons as most people would think when you hear that name. He doesn't. And he's got a whole new perspective on it.
But is most of it just maybe negative energy, or maybe like energy out there that are like, they like to like screw around with you and have fun, or maybe like, like tapping on your shoulder or doing this and doing that. I don't think that that's a demon. You could have negative energy, but yeah. So how does he explain, what is his difference on that?
Oh God, he's so interesting. I can't wait. Listen, this man and go on and on and on. He says, you call, you have your angels, your spirit guides, or whoever, whatever. He says this is the same. I can't explain him. But when the documentary I just filmed with Shane and Sean and them there, he told it all and he explained his whole perspective on it. And I was like, I couldn't believe it, but he did. And I was like, wow, I never looked at it like that, Rick. So I can't wait for that to come out, because he put it like a whole new perspective on his thing on it. And he doesn't look at it as bad. And I've never heard no one say that. I was like, what?
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many stories out there. And unfortunately a lot of the stories is kind of like people send pictures all the time. They send videos all the time. What do you think? And I keep saying, I can't like I can't tell you yes or no. I can't tell you that this is something. I can't tell you that that's something. I need to be there. I need to investigate it. We need to go there to physically figure out what is going on. Pictures, they just send one picture and it's like, well, we need to know what's going on before, what's going on after. We need to know what was going on at the time, the environment. Like, we need to know all of this stuff. So you can't legitimately talk about pictures and videos and stuff like that. And you can't go by with what anybody else says, because you need to experience those things. There's a few people that I can trust. What the hell are you doing?
Just cord. This damn cord. Girl,
what you drink and post, yeah. Oh my God,
Lord! I got to plug in my computer, and I'm over here trying to get this cord. I'm thinking if I don't get it to go around me, it's going to be
lights out, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, y'all.
Yeah. So I mean, so a lot of people actually get mad because they're like, well, why can't you, do this? And when they come to conventions and then they bring their pictures and it's like, I'm sorry, and they get so mad. It's like, but I can't tell you anything. Like, I can't say yes. I can't say no. I wasn't there. And they're, and a lot of people, get so upset, but,
I know we get a lot of stuff too. A lot of people send videos and pictures, and
yeah,
I'm always like, I can't wait to see the videos and pictures. And they're like, do you see it? And they'll do all these little things to it, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
And
I'll just say interesting or
right.
But sometimes you really do see some weird things in these pictures, and I'm like, But a lot of times those people send me videos and I'll see dust and stuff, and the people will swear up and down. Yeah, I know, girl. I got to refill. They'll swear up and down. Oh my, you're getting ahead of me. So they'll send me the videos and stuff, and but I just think people, they don't understand that the night vision cameras has that infrared built into them. So it's going to make it dust look all flashy and sparkly, or, and it's.
I always, there's a point where if somebody says, hey, I think my Aunt Betty was at my wedding. Well, you know what? Then she was at your wedding. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, Aunt Betty was that, like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if she was, but if you have in your mind and you have it in your feelings that she was there, then it's there. Then that person is there. Like, you don't have to ask me. You don't have to go by a picture. If you feel that, then she was there, like, just then go by that. There are some people back then, like before all the phones and everything, used to bring their wedding albums, it's just like, and then you have to go through like the whole album because you have to see every orb that's in every picture. And it's like, oh my God. Some orbs are energy, some orbs are not energy. So it's, again, I don't know. I can't tell you yes or no. Like, I have no idea. If there's like 1,000 orbs, it's most likely not 1,000 spirits like hanging around you. Like, but I honestly, I can't say. We are very, we go through all of our steps, as in, like, we need to be there. We need to try to recreate this picture or recreate the videos and all of that stuff. We don't, unfortunately, we can't go by these things.
Well, and speaking of, recreating something, and that is something that if you can get back into a location and do that, it's good. Yeah. Which we had somebody when we went to this haunted, I'm going to call it haunted because damn place is out of control. It really is. And there's been a lot of deaths there, but we had someone taking pictures, and I told him, I said, make sure you take 3 pictures in each spot, I don't want this one clicking stuff like my husband was doing after I told him.
Chris.
Yes, 3 times on the spot. He's clicking one. My friend, she ended up capturing what really, and you got to be careful because of pareidolia. I'm probably saying it wrong, but where your eyes are meant to see shapes and things that look like people.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this picture, and it looks like a man sticking his head out the door. He's like, just like this, and he's wearing. You could see he looked like he even had like a hat on, a top hat. He looked like he had a tuxedo on. You could see it all. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, nah, is this pareidolia? I'm questioning this.
Right.
So the next day, and I want to tell you, the man that owns this location, he's a skeptic. He don't believe in ghosts or nothing. He's like, have fun, whatever. This man lets me back into this location. And I said, hey, I need you to help me I want to try to debunk this picture. It looks like somebody's peeking their head around out the door, out of the room, but I don't know. Can you help me find where this was taken? Because it all looks the same. He's like, oh, I think I know where that was taken. And we walk around and go up to the location, and we're lining everything up, to the T with this picture. And sure enough, girlfriend, there was nothing that could explain what that was.
Right.
And he was like, he even looked at it and said,
yeah,
oh, that's a man. I said, it looks like a guy doing it.
Remember when we were at Hawthorne?
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
So we were at Hawthorne, and and what did the person downstairs are like, oh my God, they're showing us pictures of what they saw upstairs. So we actually went upstairs, and we were just like taking pictures, and we could have debunked those pictures, because the thing is, it's like we saw, like that you guys were in back, but I'm taking pictures and you guys look like weird things.
Yep.
You don't look like a person. You just, you can see kind of like the outline and like a little bit of color and stuff like that. So yeah, I can show that to anybody and be like, no, nobody was in the hallway when we were there. But that's the thing. We went up there, we tried to prove it. Yeah, well, we can take the same picture. So was it somebody? I don't know, but you know what? We can take the same picture. So we kind of have to throw that picture out because we don't really know if that was. But remember, we also heard a lot of things going on.
Oh my gosh, you guys, listen. I forgot about that shit. Leave it to Shari to bring this shit up. So we brought it up. We might as well talk about it.
Yeah. Well, you never know what you're going to catch on video or recording.
We're at this hotel, guys, and it's funny because we can't do no private investigations because this is a hotel. People are actually still renting it out and stuff, and they were holding events too. So, but Shari's like, let's go up here on this floor, and we'll just kind of sit here and we'll just see what happens. But we go up there, and I think it was after the pictures you were taking.
Yeah.
We start hearing some weird. Some moaning and groaning going on. Let's just say somebody was having a good time. And we were like, oh my gosh. It was loud. And I was even getting embarrassed. I was embarrassed. We were
embarrassed outside. Like, oh yeah, I'm always wondering, like, are they putting on a show? Because we're not, they know that we're out there on the hallway and they're like, yeah, let's just make really loud noises to,
I never thought of that. I really didn't even think of that. I never even thought of that. I thought, well, because it wasn't like ongoing. It was like they pause, and then it go back. And then it was
so it's like in our heads, we're like, imagining what's going on. They stop, they go, they stop, they go.
That was crazy. Yeah. And I was like, well, at least, somebody's definitely having a good time in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really weird because hotels are really active. They are, because you got to think of all the people that went there, all this energy coming and going, and people do bad things to themselves in these rooms. They in their lives, and just all kinds of things. Imagine,
Yeah.
and it makes you wonder, you're renting out this room. Are them spirits in there watching every damn move?
You know what? You have to worry about everybody putting their little videos. Remember, like all the little cameras nowadays? People are like putting cameras in B&Bs and all of that crap. So you have to deal with that and the spirits watching every little thing that you do in your room.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen Yellow Jackets? Have
Yeah.
you seen?
Yeah.
Have you? I know. I just finished all the seasons.
I did.
That got me like, oh no. You see how when they went in the room, they're like going everywhere, doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, I never do any of that. Should I be doing all this?
I feel like no matter where, because like we're on the road a lot and it's like every hotel room that you go, it's like you try to, but I mean, like the alarm from, and I even heard just recently, like it was like a picture frame. There was a thing in the picture frame.
What?
Videos.
They're getting creative.
Mirrors, yeah. Like, and I mean, the alarm clocks and stuff like that. I mean, people are it's disgusting. It's disgusting, So it's just like, you don't want
my gosh.
to it in the bathroom. So it's not like, I mean, you're taking a shower and you have these things on you. I think that's why it's just like, I'm more afraid of the living than the dead. Like people always ask, and it's like, no, if the dead want to see me, they can see like what it is. But I really can't do anything about it. But it's
I know it's creepy because and people will ask me sometimes, do you think spirits are watching you when you're in the bathroom? Well, listen, if you have someone that's a male spirit, and why not? Why wouldn't he take the advantage? It ain't like he's just gonna be like, I'm gonna respect the ladies. No, because he's probably thinking we ain't gonna know. Just like today, I was here, of course, all alone. I'm in there getting cleaned up, and I'm, fixing my hair and stuff, and I swear to you, I sensed the presence like standing at my bathroom doorway, and I'm like, and I started talking to the spirit. I said, all right, I know you're there. I said, I sensed you there, and then above my sink, got lights, and one light just starts flickering. And I'm like, I don't assume it's spirit right away, because it could be the bulbs going bad. It could be electrical thing. Who knows? But I'm just like, okay, I'm sensing someone there.
I have a story. So we were out filming, and Dave Tango was actually, I don't know if he was like next to me in the rooms or not. I really don't remember where he was, but the vent was like going through everything, so you can hear people, so, and sometimes when we get back with a place now, I do think that maybe that people can follow you, obviously, but I never know. So sometimes when I go back to my hotel room, I like hear things, and so then in the bathroom I start talking, because like there was all this movement and rustling and whatever. There was something right here. I can't remember what it was, but there was like a lot of rustling. So I start talking like, okay, if you're here with me, it's okay. That's okay if you see me naked. That's fine. So I'm talking.
You're here. You might as well get the full look.
And so I'm like talking. And then, so we all get together in the morning and we're talking, and Dave's like, just so you know, I can hear you.
Oh no.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but I'm like, something was going on in the bathroom. So I was like talking to like whoever it was, but I'm saying, it's okay if you see me like, that's fine. I don't really give a shit, and I don't know. So I was like talking to whoever, whatever, but I wasn't thinking that like other people can hear me. And Dave's like, yeah, I can hear you.
Like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
I do cardio dancing here because it's one of my workouts. And I'm thinking, these spirits makes me wonder, they're probably watching me like, what the hell?
They could be
What are
gentle.
you listening to?
Oh my God. Oh my God. There was somebody, I wanted to get back to, somebody was, shoot, where was it? Oh, Christy, you saw your dad that passed away last May. I'm sorry. A couple of times, haven't seen him since Ice Age. Well, I'm probably different than you because everybody, like has their own things. I'm not into saging, so I don't really know about that. But I think that saging has nothing to do with your dad not showing up anymore. Maybe you're not and you can, because I'm just thinking, if her dad isn't showing up, maybe she's not picking up on the signs that maybe he's sending, maybe. Because because of her saging, I don't think that would be like her dad not coming through because she saged. I don't think that has anything to do with that. Maybe you can ask your dad to come by to visit you. And what I did learn, and because of things like this, my family that passed, I never know what like the signs, for them. I have no idea. And hi, Brandy Marie. I never know the signs for them. So I was on the highway. I was traveling from something, and I actually told, there was 4 people who I was actually looking to. Like, I don't know your sign, so I'm going to give you a sign, and then if you can show me those signs, then we'll at least know a sign, because I have been asking for a long time, like, show me these signs. And I don't get the signs, or maybe I'm just not picking it up or anything.
Were you not telling them specific signs to?
Not at this point.
Okay, so that's why.
So then I'm always saying to them, show me a sign so I know that it's you. But I'm not picking them up, so that's what, and then I was listening to somebody else, and I'm like, okay, I guess I need to tell you what sign to send to me. So I gave everybody specific things. So these 4 people, and it all came to me as butterflies, because my recent, I don't know if you saw my post, my sister-in-law passed away. So on her urn, they're butterflies, and it's a pink urn. So I told her, okay, you're a pink butterfly. And then I went with the other 3, you're purple, you're yellow, and you're blue. So I gave everybody a butterfly, and I gave everybody a color. Within, I would say, like 5 minutes of driving, all the way to the right was a Jeep. In the back of it was like a iridescent blue butterfly. And so I'm like, great, thank you. And then, like, a couple minutes later, the next thing over was again a Jeep. And then in the back of it was a purple, yellow, and pink butterfly. So all of this happened. So again, my thing to you is that, the sage has nothing to do with your dad not coming to you. Tell them what you want from them, to show them, like, what the sign would be. And then hopefully you'll know, like, he'll come through and with that sign. Because trust me, like, I was not expecting anything. And when I saw those 4 butterflies all within 4 minutes, all within 5 minutes of asking for it was just amazing. It was just amazing.
Well, I always tell people when I give them readings, and they're like, I always ask for this and that. I'm like, yeah, your family's telling me you're asking for signs, but you're not telling them what the sign is, so you're going to know it's them. And they're like, oh, you're right. I'm not, you can't, you got to say, so when you get your sign that you got it,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So
it was
listen,
amazing.
I'm telling you this, the cardinals are messengers, and I'm telling you, almost every morning, and my skeptic husband can definitely tell you this because he's even like freaked out over this bird. This cardinal girl, it wakes us up in the morning. It'll be before my husband's alarm's going off. It's hitting the window, and he works first shift, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then when he leaves, it's still doing it, and I'm still asleep. And I'll say, Dad, would you quit hitting the window? Because my dad used to wake me up early. He'd be like, get up and make me breakfast,
Like,
like, but the weird thing is, I will wake up, then I'll make my coffee, come in here, sit down and relax. And there it is again in my front bay window, just coming flying over, and it'll just look at me. Just sit there and just look at me. And I'm like, what do you want? What are you trying to tell me?
But I mean,
it's a messenger.
Amazing feeling. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop. This bird does not stop. I'm like, my husband's like, that bird's going to get brain damage, man, because it won't quit.
That is so crazy. Rosemary, I would love to see my mom. I mean, same thing. Talk to her and ask her. Try to get like a specific sign, that you can think of that might, kind of resonate with you and her. You are very calm, Taryn. Yeah, I'm very calm when it has nothing to do with wine. Because right now I'm like,
yeah, Tom, you're right.
God. Yeah, I've always been that type of person. I've always been calm because I'm kind of, again, I guess, like you've been into it for so long that you've seen and heard so much that when something happens, it's more like you're excited that somebody's, oh, great, we're getting in contact with somebody. Now let's ask questions. It's not like you freak out, and be like, and then leave, like okay, finally we have somebody. So let's try to ask questions and try to figure out who it is,
Yeah, girl, throughout my whole life, I've had it since I was young. I've always had, something going on with spirit. Yeah. And my brother was always, letting his presence be known, coming through my anything electrical. I mean, craziness. And it's so funny because my sisters and them, they'd all get jealous. Well, why isn't he coming and visiting me? And I'm like, I have no idea.
And you know what? Maybe they are, but they're not picking it up. Or Miss Skeptic is like, yeah, whatever. That's not you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you never know. And Chris, I don't know what time it is. He's like, yeah, the wine is kicking in.
This wine kicked in a long time ago. This wine is so strong,
This stuff is pretty good. I'm glad I have a couple bottles of this.
Shari. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
I got a question for the viewers.
Yeah.
Do you guys have maybe a haunted location that's maybe in between Ohio and where are you located again, Shari?
Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Yes. Between Ohio and Salem, Massachusetts. You guys got a location you think Shari and I should go to? I think Shari should come over here for the weekend and let me take her around.
I will go there for a long weekend. And absolutely. Danielle is saying, can you answer Dan's question? What was Dan's question? I got an answer. Did we? If you guys are asking questions, you kind of have to redo it because sometimes the stuff goes so fast.
Yeah, you have to repeat it, guys.
So you kind of have to repeat yourselves.
Mandy and Shari, ever think about traveling to Japan and investigating out there? Oh, I'd love to. I would love to go to the Dead Forest. Is that what it's called?
I don't know, but we're having a problem getting into getting between Ohio and Massachusetts. But yeah, we'll try to do Japan. Shari does the world. We'll go around the world and we'll investigate.
There's Kim. Hey, Kim. You made it. Oh.
Do we ever go out with Cody and Satori and the TAPS team? I go out with everybody. Everybody does their own techniques, and you know, yeah, I work with many people, and not only TAPS, but even prior to this, I had my own team in the area, and I used to work with many groups in the area, TAPS team and non-TAPS team, doesn't matter, because remember, like, back then, way back then, when everybody used to work together, and it's just like, we have this thing, let's go out, it's for a client, let's all try to work together and get it done. That's what we used to do. So I used to work with a whole bunch of people, and me having my own team, I used to ask other people to come in and help. It's basic, because this is just a part-time job. This is a non-paying part-time job.
Yep.
So it's kind of, I used to have my team and I have my regular people, but if they're not available, then I need to get other people. Yeah, so we used to all help each other around here. And again, everybody does something different. And as long as you're not one of those, this says this, so it must be this. As long as you're not that, I'll be fine. I'll be fine working with you. Again, it's all about the client. We need to do everything that we possibly can to help the client. It's not to help the people. It's not to help the people in the group of inflaming their egos and everything else. It's all about the client. So yeah, I've worked with many different people. Some people I do not like to work with in the past. But then I just wouldn't ask them to help me, or I wouldn't go on their team to help them, because we just have different techniques. I'm not crazy about theirs, or they're not crazy about mine. Whatever it is, you just don't clash. Not a big deal, like, you do your thing, I do my thing, and whatever. But it's all good.
Yeah, and it's, girl, let me tell you, it's funny that, because my sisters have been doing this now. Chastity's been with me since the beginning, so it's going on 7 years. Bobby, 3 years, and they really don't have their own technique on how they do it. They just kind of just follow how I guess how I do it, and
yeah,
and it's just so funny because they still don't understand the equipment all the way, like how it works and what it does. But it's not really their thing. It's more my thing, my passion.
Yeah.
But they're a hoot. They really are. They're a hoot.
But like, that's fine. Like they're not, knowing your sisters and knowing you guys aren't making up shit. You guys aren't exaggerating. You guys are still trying to figure out, like, what is this? Is it, like, trying to figure out other possibilities of what could be going on. It's not like, holy shit, this is this, so it must be this. Like, it's not that way. So I know how you guys work, which is great.
And, we're live. We show everybody. It's like, okay, you guys, okay, like, I'll hear something, but then I'm like, nah, it could be. I do that, because you got to think where you're at, what's in there. Is it completely an abandoned place? Is there a window over here? Is there a light? I try to think about all the surroundings and things. And my sisters do too, and Bobby Joe's really good at that. She's constantly like, oh, I think it's coming from this, but you have to do that. Every little knock or every little sound you hear isn't always going to be spirit. You got to think there could be a mouse around, making noise.
I have animals around here, like scratching and everything else. So yeah, I mean, and people don't think that, you know, like you got to call an electrician, you have to call a pest control, you got to call the plumbers. Sometimes you have to call these people in and it'll take care of all your issues, you know. Unfortunately, that doesn't sell, you know, like people want all this craziness and that's where you get all the likes and the sells and everything else. But unfortunately, it's not the truth.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think when they think of going on the paranormal investigation, they think they're going to see something or have this whoa moment.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you wouldn't have something. You never know what could happen. You know, if there is a spirit around, and say it's someone who was a negative person, you know, a mean person, and they don't like that energy off of this person,
Right.
you don't know what they're going to do. But sometimes when you're investigating, you're not going to get all this stuff. And that, you know, I always try to tell people, we're not guaranteed to really get much, you know, or we might get some good stuff through the recorder.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know. But it is addicting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so addicting. I got to be careful taking people with me. I tell them, I'm like, look, I'll take you this time, but I'm warning you, you're going to be.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like there's like, you know, so we go out locations and it's, you know, a week to 3 weeks or whatever, depending on, of course, how big the place is. And some days it's like, it's just so quiet. And it's like, you're in an asylum, you're in a prison. Like, why could it be so quiet? But some days it's just nothing. And then other days it's just like shit going every which way. So unfortunately, if the people go on the off day, they're going to get nothing. And they're like, yeah, there's no such thing or whatever, you know, or you get the opposite and that everything's happening and people are, you know, that's great, but we can't control it. It's whatever they want.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not on our time. It's on spirit's time.
You know, like if it's residual, we can't do anything. Like we can't do anything about it. We can just try to like ask whoever we can to, hey, we have people here. They want to like experience something. Can you show us something? They don't have
Someone's asking about your alarm, because the last time we were live, your alarm kept going.
Oh, yeah. No idea. We didn't change the batteries. We didn't do anything. It was just that one night. It was just, yeah. And then after we stopped, it went off a couple more times and then that was it. So probably stopped like around maybe like, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock or so. So I think I'm trying to think of like when my daughter came home. Yeah, because she like texted me like, what the hell, the alarm's going off? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, so that was probably around 12:30. And then a little after that, it just stopped and it never came on again. I don't know.
So Amy says she has a haunted home and there's a lady who lived here and died in my room. I hear her making noises, and at night she's very protective of my family. Well, that's a good thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? But I also think you also have to talk to her. Like, okay, I get that you're protective, but make sure, you know, just know that I'm the mother. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, which I've heard stories in the past, that they become either it's the nanny or somebody like that, or the mother past, that they have come and they take them on as their own children. And then they are okay with the children, but not anybody else. So if they're okay with you, just make sure to know, like, thank you for watching over my children. But just know I'm the mother, but thank you for taking, just watching over them, because, I really appreciate it, just so that they know the role.
Well, I can tell you, when my grandchildren come here, the activity in my house amps up. It really does.
Your family members, everything come over?
Oh my God. When they come over, it's crazy. And I'm almost positive the twins are seeing my father. They've never met my father. He had passed away way before they were born. And they'll be sitting on my lap because I have this portrait. My husband had someone paint a picture of me and my father, and it's hanging, this big picture hanging in my living room. And they'll be sitting on my lap and they'll point. and they'll say, Papa, Pap? And I'm like, yeah, that's your Papa, but you've been seeing your Papa because you've never met your Papa, you
Yeah.
know. And my daughter will tell me that she has baby monitors, and when the children are in their room supposed to be sleeping, she'll hear them when they wake up, and one of the girls will be talking, and they'll be saying, Papa, Pap. So I know they're seeing my father. I know it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But it does pick up here.
I don't know how to pronounce this name. Sayabin Nolan. It says, my name is Rose, and I am here for the first time. So hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
But, you know, Shari, Ohio does have a long history of being haunted. There's so many different locations here that
we actually have been to Ohio many times on the show. Don't ask me where they went because I
you don't know if was it a case, like a house, or was it a
I honestly don't know because I have like a really bad my memory sucks. But I just remember Ohio being one of them, a lot, like the places that we were, okay, we're going back to Ohio. Okay, we're going, so between Ohio and Pennsylvania, I just feel like we've been there so many times. Yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard of Prospect Place? No. I think it's in Ohio. I want to say that place is around in Ohio here. I've not been there yet. It's kind of on my bucket list, but I've heard it's been around for a long time. A lot of people's been there and investigated, but I haven't been there. I want to go there. I was just wondering if you guys
in Ohio.
Yeah, it's somewhere here in Ohio. It's called Prospect Place. I'm sure someone here on the live might have know what we're talking about. Franklin Castle in Cleveland. I would love to go to that castle. Have you heard of that one, Shari?
No. Listen, I'll go to any castle as possible. I love castles.
Oh, I gotta tell you something funny.
Yeah.
Girl. So this was when COVID first came out. Like, I mean, this was like when the stuff was like spreading like wildfire, and you know, I was working in law enforcement at the time, and they were quarantining some of the inmates that were coming down with this, and they were like doing all this crazy stuff at this place I worked at. I'm like, oh my God, this reminded me of like the Walking Dead stuff, like stuff was like spreading like wildfire in the jail. Yeah. And so I remember one of the symptoms being you couldn't taste food, and I'm like, I remember I was like, oh no, I think I'm getting sick, and I remember like I can't taste my food. What's going on here? But it didn't hit me that hard at first. But anyway, so this happened around my anniversary in October. Okay, my anniversary, and me and my husband had the weekend scheduled to go to somewhere in Cincinnati, Ohio, to this castle and stay for the weekend. And this was all during when the COVID's like getting crazy. But we were going. I was feeling okay. I just lost my taste buds, but I wasn't really feeling sick. And my husband started to come down with something, and I was like, oh, hell no. I'm like, we're going. I'm like, we got to go. We got this. We don't pay for it. We got to go. So my husband, he was feeling okay enough to go. So we ended up going, and this was like a ghost town. Everybody was just at their home, I guess, and this is a big place. It should not have been so dead in this place. But I snuck some of my equipment. Girl, I was investigating that castle we were in. And it was crazy. I was getting stuff, my REM pod's going off, and getting stuff coming through my ink box. And I'm like, I told my husband, I said, I knew there was something about this castle. It was a beautiful place. And I just felt that you could just feel the energy in this place.
Yeah.
Man, it was crazy.
I love castles. I don't
But
know.
we ended up leaving because my poor husband ended up getting so sick
Oh.
with COVID. We spent one night and we had to go. We were gone. It was bad.
That stinks.
Yeah.
That stinks. What would be the most amazing piece of evidence? You know what? I would love if somebody was just appeared in front of me and talked to me. I mean, I think I've experienced so much with, like all the equipment that we use,
Mhm.
and people just giving you answers like on cue,
Yeah.
and and it's amazing. But I think would be the most amazing thing is actually if they actually appeared, playing with the equipment and
Do
trying.
you ever wonder if there is there like rules in the spiritual world? Are they not allowed to appear in front of us? Or you notice how they're almost like accidentally seen, like not maybe meant to be seen, but someone ends up seeing them?
Right.
It just makes me
Right.
wonder,
I don't know. Is there any way, because of with your being a medium, is there any way that you can like ask them?
Yeah, I wish it worked like that. No, it don't work that way for me, girl. I can't speak for other mediums, but I do know that when I tap into the medium stuff, I can't explain how I do it. The things I get, I can't explain it. I don't know. It's like I'm on a whole nother, I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I tap in, it's like I just get I'll get images. It's almost like a movie playing. I'll get images. I'll get feelings of what happened to them. I'll feel what the person I'm talking to is going through.
Yeah.
I will just hear different things. Just a lot of people piggyback riding me. And it's like I can't separate it. So I don't even try because it becomes annoying. But they never talk about that. They just want to talk to family and bring up stuff. It's never about what you asked.
What you do.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never experienced anything like that, but I've never really asked them either. So,
yeah. Well, maybe we'll ask them at one point in time.
I do ask them things when I'm out there using my devices though, because some of the intelligent responses I get through my boxes.
Yeah.
And, I know you got to be careful with as any device. My ink box, it does have the radio, the FM and the AM stations, and it has other stuff, but you got to be careful. But the intercom box is quite unique too, because like I said, it doesn't pick up on radio stations. So I don't know, like, is this straight communication from spirit? So
Right.
I'll ask them questions. And I actually did this at a cemetery. I asked the spirit, I said, what's it like in the spirit world? And I had the intercom box on. I said, what's it like? And the spirit came through, this guy came through and he goes, it's fun. Clear as day. I'm like, what? You're having fun over there?
Mm-hmm.
He straight said it was fun.
Yeah, because I've had people saying, oh yeah, I'm having a good time. And you can actually hear the old-fashioned music going on. Like I was at a what do you call it? A speakeasy type place.
Yeah.
You can hear that type of music, and you can hear girls laughing and all of that. You can hear all of that. And when you're talking to somebody, you're like, oh, what are you doing? How you doing, or whatever it is. They're like, and they would respond, great, having fun and things like that. But then there's other times where you ask, how are you? What's going on over there? And all of this other stuff. And they won't say anything. So it's just like you're having a good conversation with them. And then when you ask, tell us about the other side. What's going on? What do you do? They stop. And then, so it's just like you try to, again, try to get those answers of what's on the other side or what their experience, and they just don't say anything back. So is it that person, or is it somebody there that's telling them like enough, like, no. Yeah, I don't know. So you kind of, I guess you kind of get both.
I honestly believe, I do know that when I'm doing my mediumship, I do connect with higher energies. The higher ones are the ones that's already crossed over, and the lower ones are the ones here that we investigate, the lower energy. So I do connect with both of them, because I'll be able to tell someone, look, your loved one is still here. They haven't went on yet. So I am able to do that. But as far as the question you asked me, it's like I don't know if they're not allowed to tell me certain things or what. But we got somebody's asking how to contact us about an investigation. Are you talking about ghost hunters, Sherry's team? Are you talking about with Ghost Sisters, Charles?
Or you and me.
Yeah, or Sherry. Hey now. I would love that. Girl. Yeah. Or you want Sherry and I to come and check out what's going on?
Yeah. Big feet.
Sherry, do you think when there's a lot more people, do you think you get a lot more responses, or do you think when there's less people, you get more? What's
Definitely less people. I personally do not like groups. I have my own way of doing things. So I like when I'm with one person and maybe two other people. I don't like the group things. As we discussed before, you don't know the different energies for the other side, like connecting to you. There's been many times where I do events, and there's certain people in the events that don't connect with the other side. So the other side won't connect with us because they don't like the certain people in the group. So I
believe spirits know those who don't believe. I really do. I think
those who don't believe and those who just are assholes.
There you go. And you got to think they were people once too. So you got to think if you're, this is my take on it. And I know this from talking a lot to the spirits.
Yeah.
I will say that if you were an asshole when you were here, and you're an asshole in spirit, or if someone's an asshole here and you're trying to get communication from spirit, they ain't gonna want to talk to you. Why would somebody want to talk to you if you're that way? It's the same thing as if they are here. If you're an asshole, no one's gonna want to really talk to you.
No. And unfortunately, like I said, like when I what I wanted to do here is try to make there's a lot of places out there that you can go and investigate in these huge groups. And I want to try to make it smaller because it's less maybe people that are not going to get along with the other side, if you know.
I like it smaller.
So, yeah, it's just like there's more things that you're going to be able to hear. You're going to be able to experience, because when you have more people, they're walking around, they're chit-chatting, they're doing whatever. So you can't really have that quiet time to try to listen to everybody. And, you have women sometimes that are still wearing heels, and it's like, you're on an investigation, but let's not wear heels.
I'll trip if I'm wearing heels now. Hell no.
And then you have like all these people chit chat, and it's just like, let's try to keep it down. And, and I don't mean to be a bitch, but it's like, I want people to have their experiences. So quiet, the more quiet that we are, the more that we can listen to, the more that we can open up to these other people. There was an investigation that I was at where somebody had a dog with them, whatever dog. But
was it an anxiety dog?
It was one of those.
Okay.
But whoever was with us was kind of like talking from like the corner. So you can kind of feel like, okay, they're in the distance, they're playing with their, dealing with the device over there. They're not dealing with this device. So they're staying over there. So we asked, like, do you not like the dog? And it was like, no, we don't like the dog. So we asked, I'm sorry, like, I'm so sorry, but you need to leave with the dog, because that's interfering with everybody else's experience. So I'm just like, let's see if the dog leaves and then we can experience something, then we'll go with it. But if it's not,
spirit could be afraid of dogs,
yeah, if that's not changing anything, I'll have you come back in. But in the meantime, it seems like they're not liking the dog, so as soon as the dog left, over here, machines going off like crazy. So unfortunately, you really have to think of that stuff. And if you're going to one of these places, those people might not like you for whatever reason it is. Like, if you're a jerk, they're a jerk. They don't like you for whatever reason. I don't know. And it's hard to go through. So one of the events that I did, there was just somebody who thought that the whole entire thing was about them. And, they've never been to this place before, but they were, like, oh my God, it's about me. And so they're outside crying. Well, it ruins it for everybody else, so it's like, I'm sorry, but you have to go. And I just feel like it's always one person out of every group that has an issue. Unfortunately, we did do some drinking.
What? Girl, don't get me started on when I was drinking and we did an investigation. Holy shit, I about fell down and broke my neck.
But it was one of those, hey, let's get together, let's have some dinner, let's have some drinks, and then we'll investigate later. It's just one of those, investigations. And I'm like, okay, we can't do that anymore. Because even besides that, we did have the place that we're going to in May, the Arlington Inn in May.
Oh.
There was another, when we did that one, I won't get into specifics, but there were two people that were drinking a lot. And Chris is giving some wine. Yeah, and it was just nonstop. They were just I was with a psychic medium who's also a witch in Salem. I was with her, and she was doing all of her stuff, and they were just completely making fun of her throughout the whole time. When I was doing the investigation, completely making fun of me the whole time. They were just assholes. Okay, just awful. And the last thing I said to them was a lot of explicit things, like, shut the blah, blah, whatever. I just screamed and yelled at these people, because I'm like, enough. Like, these people have paid a lot of money for a ticket to come and experience all these things, and you guys are. So I yelled at them, and they eventually, like, calmed down. Actually, like, a couple months later, one of the women actually died, which is why I try not to bring it up. But this is like, all of this stuff and whatever happened. So this is why I don't really do any alcohol usually at any of more events. But yeah, so I just, it's going to be
not a good mixture, is it? It's not.
It's every place that you go to is going to be different. Everybody, everybody's different, over here, everybody's different over here. And you just never know. We were having this place over here. When I did the event, we were having, extremely, really, really good activity going on. And as soon as that lady came over, it was gone. Completely.
So there was something about that lady's energy, girl.
Went outside, she was crying, and I was like, are you kidding me? So then the next group that came in got nothing because of that lady. And
you ever be on an investigation and the spirit will call out that person? Like, say, they're lying.
Oh.
I've heard that come through the box.
Yeah.
When I'm out there investigating with other people, and spirits, they'll tell them. Man, they will tell.
Yeah.
Tell you. It's crazy.
Oh.
And I want to tell you that guy, Charles, he says he's Long Island.
Oh. What, he wants us to go to Long Island? Is that what?
I think that's Charles. If you're still on here, are you talking about us going to Long Island?
Kim, I'm in my PJs. See?
Yep.
I'm in my PJs.
Me too. I got some girl stars all over up and down my legs. It's funny.
This is what I actually
what is that?
Well, this is my little logo. I don't investigator. So I usually sell these things during my private events. So I don't really have them out there. But I do have, let me see if I can walk straight. Hold on.
Charles, okay, so what's going on, man? What's going on at your place? Or do you own a business?
Yeah. So, I usually have these little things.
Little bag.
And little bags and like little
Oh yeah, we sell those during the festival.
Yeah, and I have to get more, but I used to have flashlights all made up because when I do my personal stuff, I sell all of this stuff because I don't sell the taps things. That's all when we're all together. So this is but I wear it.
Kevin said he wore his too, and he's a man. It's all good.
It's you can wear whatever you want. But unfortunately we can't have pictures though, huh?
Danielle says, Shari, do you ever go live on Facebook during investigations?
No, I don't. There's a lot of people that wanted me to go live. Like we talked about this before. There's a lot of people that asked me to go live. I don't know what it is. I just feel like there's so many people that do that. And I feel like, I don't know. It's just so weird. Like there's so many people that do it. Yeah. Like we talked, it's like, just do it. But I just feel weird doing it. I don't know why.
It can be overwhelming because, a lot, and especially you got a big following. So you go live, girl, they're all going to be, jumping on and you can't read all the comments. So I tell them all, sorry guys, but I'm trying to focus on the investigation and I can't see, and I'm blind anyway. I can't see your comments. So they're lucky that I even see one or two. Yeah. And so I try to focus on the investigation, but I'll say hi to everybody jumping on, and every now and then I'll try to focus on a comment.
Right. Right. I mean, like somebody, I don't know what, I was doing a investigation somewhere, and I bring my kids to so many just different locations so that, I like to keep them involved in it. And one of my friends, we were at his location, but he was doing the Facebook Live, but he was asking the question. So at least I could figure, look at this over here, but then hear him asking questions so I can answer. But that annoys me. Because the brightness in your eyes and you're trying to read, but you're also trying to figure out this thing. So it's just, I don't know. It's too much for me going.
It is. And Kim, you're right. I try to pay attention to everybody. I do. Yeah. But it's just.
But like you said, I definitely want to, I am going to start a podcast eventually, and get this going. Probably not drink as much wine as I am tonight. But
listen, I start my diet. Listen, girlfriend, I start my diet tomorrow. My husband's 2 days ahead of me, and he was trying to get me to start with him. I said, no, I can't. I'm gonna be drinking wine. I can't start my diet and drink wine. I'm like, that's just gonna
listen. Red wine is good for you, okay?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. But we're doing a 2-month strict diet, girl. My husband's starving. He's like, these little portions. He's like, I'm starving.
I don't know.
These little baby portions. I'm like, you better eat that shit slow so you get filled up. And we're doing the Nutrisystem thing, and it does work. And I've been working out since I was 21 and I'm 45. So I do have a lot of muscle, but I don't know. I can tell I've put on a little bit and I want to lose a little bit more, I got to. This is this time to shed off this extra blanket I'm wearing for the winter. It's time to go,
This is where it's not paranormal anymore. Yeah, it's female talk. But the perimenopause and all that shit, where you gain all this weight, plus I'm on other medication that makes you gain weight. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even tell you how much I've gained over the last couple of years. And it's like, holy crap. And so, yeah, I've been trying to get back on.
Listen, Shari, my family is so blunt. My mother is so blunt. If your ass had gained 5 pounds, she's going to notice it. And
thanks.
So I walk in and, I had worked out this day and I walk, this is just a couple of weeks ago, and I walk in and I have my workout pants on and my tank top and stuff, and my jacket. I walk in and my mother says the first words out of her mouth is, she's very blunt. This is where chastity gets it from. My mother says, Mandy, are you gaining weight? Your ass looks bigger.
Oh, I can see your sister, yeah.
my mother, I'm like, Mom, I'm like, I work out. I'm like, I've always had a bubble butt. I was like, that's my nickname growing up, bubble butt. I'm like, I got to keep my butt, and she's like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just your pant, what you're wearing. I'm like, oh my God. And it was so funny because my daughter goes, Mom, now I know where you get it from. You guys get it from. I can't believe Grandma said that to you. I said, Grandma is very blunt. She speaks her mind. But I'm like, damn, Mom, got me wondering,
Yeah. My mother, thank God, is not like that. But
my mother,
she doesn't feel it. I can feel it, and I had to buy different clothing. So it's oh my God, it's really been bad. I guess maybe the wine's not helping, but it's been really bad. I've been trying to okay, grab me the salads and everything else, but you still want that.
You do. It's listen, ladies. I always say the 40s is the new 30s, but the 30s wasn't so hard to get the weight off as the 40s are.
I'm 50, so what are you gonna say about that?
I thought you were like around my age, if not, Really, you looking good, girl. You looking good for being 50. Shit.
No, I went to Italy for my 50th. That was always.
Oh, that's right. You did.
Thing that I wanted to do is, I've always wanted to go to Italy, and I'm like, for my 50th birthday, I just want to go out there, and it just happened to be an elevator. I was gonna say an elevator. It just happened to be. I don't even know. It just happened to be. The person that I went to. We talked about going to Italy and stuff like that, and I'm like, absolutely. So I got to do what I wanted to do when I was 50, but I'm like, what the 50? Yeah.
Well, me and my husband, oh God, this is horrible, but I think we've been together almost 14 years. It's been a long damn time to be with somebody.
Hear that?
We've been together a long time, but we've never went on our honeymoon. We had a big wedding and the whole 9 yards, but we never went on our honeymoon. So my husband, he's like, Mandy? He's like, let's go on the honeymoon. He's like, anywhere you want to go, where you want to go. And I'm like, really? I want to go to, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Ireland, but he won't fly. So I don't know.
Right. Because you had a problem going to Florida. Forget Ireland.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to get him on a plane, but I want to go to one of those locations. And I told him, I said, if we go to Ireland, we got to stay in a castle. And I got to investigate a castle.
Right? Lep Castle is like the castle to go to.
So yeah, he's like, anywhere you want to go. And when you say something like that to me, my investigation, that processing kicks in. Like, okay, I want to go where there's going to be haunted things around.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
You
If
know,
you want to like go on vacation, it's like, like you start thinking of like,
yeah.
you don't think of like the beach and whatever. Like that's nice, but in the nighttime, you need to check out other places. So yeah, so my mind goes the same place. But listen, if he can't go with you to Ireland,
you'll go. That's right. You'll go.
listen, I hate going on planes. I hate it. But if it'll get me somewhere in a couple of hours instead of, a boat.
Driving. Yes.
So yeah, I will go. We were talking about that before, like talking about like what on the track, like the wings were hitting each other. And then I just heard recently that one of the tires fell when they
Oh my God, Sherry, what airline is this?
I don't know. I probably shouldn't say
Spirit?
it. Like,
Don't tell me it's Spirit.
Not Spirit. No, like a normal plane that I would go on. Like,
yeah,
a tire fell and like flattened. I think it was like a Jeep or something like that. Just fell on a Jeep and flattened the Jeep. And I told you about the maggots. The maggots coming down from.
I would think I was looking a nightmare. Maggots. What the hell's going on?
So the least thing I want to do is go on a plane, but it's like, if that's going to get me there, that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, my husband wouldn't have made it on the flight. When my mom took her kids, mom took all her kids to Hawaii last year. And, that's a long flight. I'm like, these men they wouldn't have survived on that plane. That was a long trip.
Yeah.
For sure. But worth it. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, about that stuff.
Someone wants to know if you've ever been to England.
I have been to England. Not investigating though. Like I've been to like England, Switzerland, Germany. I don't know. I did like the France. I did like that whole thing like back in high school that has nothing to do with investigating. I would love to go back to investigate around there. I mean, anything and everything. Of course, I would love to.
I would love to go speak to, the kings and the queens. And I want to go speak to King Henry and ask him what the hell was his problem. He had this thing. He had a hatred towards women,
Yeah. Well, that's when we need to go in.
That's right. We need to go in there and let's have a talk.
Yeah.
Mr. Yeah.
Okay. So Christy, you said you make protein and energy balls. Wait, you need some of these protein. Oh yes.
You make for the plane ride.
Yeah, you need to make them for us and we'll see. I would love to have like protein, but I don't eat chocolate. I don't eat peanuts or peanut butter. And a lot of these protein bars are, like they're made with all that. So I can't have any of that stuff.
Why can't you have that stuff?
I don't know what's wrong. Like I break out like and I just completely break out. So it's I have tried anything and everything. Like I love chocolate, but I just don't eat it because every time I do, it's like so I stay away from it.
He said Patrick said Mandy and Sherry just eat pasta. Oh my, listen here, Patrick. Patrick, if I ate pasta every day, it would be a wreck.
Yeah, can't do that every day. Joan, thank you, but I definitely have gained weight. I put pajamas in menopause. Yes, Kevin, pajamas in menopause.
Listen.
I feel so much comfortable right now.
Listen, though, I'm a very strong-willed person. Yeah. So when I buckle down and I set my mind to it, I'm going to do it. And my goal is 25 pounds down, sister. 25 pounds. Muscle weighs more than fat. So
right, absolutely.
I got a lot on me. Good Lord.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I I'm not thinking like, okay, I need to lose this much weight. I'm thinking I need to go to the friggin' gym. But the problem is I used to work out. I started when I started working out at 15 and then I went to 30. So I was like every single night. I did something. Like I needed to do something every night. And then when I hit 30 is when I started having my kids. So ever since then, I was like, okay, full time kids. Who the hell, like you're just so exhausted and so tired that the last thing you're thinking about is the gym. So I kind of stopped back then. Chris says that he's sending you to Ireland. So that means,
whoop, whoop.
Okay, Chris, we're going.
He's talked about sending me. He's like, well, you can go. I'm like, and he's serious. He would pay for my husband would pay for my trip. I'm like, damn, you gonna send your wife by herself?
No, I will go with you. I will go with you. I will go with you. I'll send Shari with you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
I'm down. I'm ready for a trip. I need a vacation, And my best friend, it's funny because she used to go on every now and then do paranormal investigations. She's actually skeptical. And it's funny, she literally seen a child ghost when we were in our younger 20s walk right in front of her, and she still questions that she's seen it. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I've taken her on investigations, and she loves going to the older locations, the history of the places. And we always talk about, well, what are the men going to do when they retire? Because they love to play they love gaming. They game. Yeah. I'm like, well, we'll let these men game and we'll just take off and travel. Let's go.
Whatever you want.
Hasta la vista.
Absolutely. We will travel. What is your most memorable place? This is Pam Harris. Hello. Shari, what is your most memorable place you've been? There are a couple that I can think of right now. I know that there was God, what is it called? In California, the gold mines, Kennedy and Argonaut gold mines. I think it was Argonaut, the one that I was in. They had a lot of things going on. In this one building, I had so much experiences with Jay and with Chelsea. And every time I went in there, there was just so much shit going on. Like it was so active. When I was with Chelsea, it was, the two girls. First of all, women are not allowed on the mines. That was bad luck and all of that. So Chelsea and I kind of like went through the whole thing because, we were not allowed. We had many experiences there. And then, but in this one building was kind of, they called it the changing building or something. And that's where they kind of go in and they strip down and they take showers because they wanted to make sure that nobody was stealing anything.
Oh.
Yeah, so they just stripped right down. They had the shower, So of course we're not supposed to be in there because all these men are showering. Yeah, it's like a regular Saturday night, but we weren't allowed. But, so we had a lot of things going on, and there was actually like a little thing that they made up. So when you go through this little maze, it's kind of almost like they rebuilt what was kind of underneath. So you kind of go through this little maze of what is actually underneath and what they experienced and what they saw and all of that. As soon as we came out of that little maze, there was something that it was almost like the something came down on you. And so I saw like this big black mass just like coming down. And the only thing I can, how I describe it is, like when people are out, I'm thinking maybe like cartoons or something. Like when you're out in the forest and like this big net comes down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's how I
can really trap, kind of like it's a net that's up the tree.
Big net that comes down. So that's the only way I could describe it, is like this big net coming down. So I kind of like went like this, and she was in back of me, and she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, I don't know. I saw and I felt this thing coming down on me. And so we keep going. And then we like set up a little thing where we sat down and so that was not on the show, but this part was on the show where, we were in contact with, something that was kind of like standing there, with the machinery that we had. And then all of a sudden, it was almost like the same thing. So all of this noise, it sounded like the ceiling was just like all cracking, and it was like coming down on us. Like it was so loud, and unfortunately the TV doesn't bring it up, but it was so loud for us, and we heard like all this creaking. We're like, what is going on? And then, but you hear it, but then you also feel it. You feel like things are falling down on you. So, you're kind of like going like this. And so I actually like screamed out loud, like, ah, and obviously it was nothing. But again, it's okay. So A, is it a residual thing? B, is it them trying to tell us like, hey, this is what it was down there? Like we were all like, unfortunately, a lot of people have passed away down there. There was a fire down there and everything. A lot of people, unfortunately, passed away. So is it them trying to have us, yeah, you guys think you're here and, and whatever. And this is what it was like. You guys couldn't handle, like that's kind of like the feeling that you got. Like, this is what it was like. You guys can't handle this crap. Like this is, and we kind of felt that. And it was so weird. It was so amazing.
It's one of them situations where you just can't explain shit.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
No. Yeah, right. Like it was crazy and it was amazing, but it's like, holy shit, what the hell,
I've had a lot of those moments, girl. You can't explain shit and you just had to be there to witness it.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, they said, ask Shari about playing pitch and catch during an investigation. Now, what the hell is the pitch and catch? I got to hear this.
Is that, Patty?
Patty?
Patty. So we were doing Ghost Nation. This was the Witching Tree episode. And Patty and I, I think there was like a 2-episode thing, because we ended up finding, we thought that maybe that there was a buried person in the back and all that stuff. So this was, again, during Ghost Nation. So Patty and I mean, the police came in, the police, the police everywhere.
You didn't have the po-po on your
because we're like, oh my God. Well, first of all, hi, Patty. And yeah, so we were trying to, of course, talking to anybody in this barn. And there was just so many like antiques and things going on. And there were some things going on in the house, things going on in the backyard. There was just things going on everywhere. So Patty and I were just trying to talk to whoever. So, but we just sat there like, like after hours, you just start doing things and you're just like getting into this mood where you're just giggling about everything and you're trying all these different, things. So we were just doing pitching and catching and doing all this. And I think what it was is that every time we did like a pitch and catch, so if somebody dropped something, we were like, okay, there's a point for Patty. Oh, there's a point for me. And so we were doing this little game back and forth, but this loud noise kept happening upstairs. And so we're like, all right, well, if there's a point for Patty, make a loud noise so that, so that stuff kept happening over and over again.
They were actually responding to.
What do you think? Like it would just happen to be like every time somebody, because of course we'd drop in and be like, oh, oops, we dropped. So, so we would do all this stuff. And like, there was all these loud noises and, then, we would hear some footsteps. It was a 2-floor thing, but you kind of have to go outside to go around, to go up to the 2nd floor. And we know that there was nobody up there because it was just Patty and me in this location. But oh my God. But yeah, that was a very long night because the police were actually out there We didn't know if we had to like shut down or and all of that because that was a long
That
time.
would be interesting though. That's why I like having less people in a location. So that way when you do hear things and it's easier to try to go and debunk, is this an animal? Is this, when you got a lot of people scattered out, it just makes it harder to You can do an investigation, but you're going to hear different things and it's going to be like, okay, well, that could have been this person, so and so.
Yeah.
We do have Kevin Brown says, if we have a place to suggest for you all, who do we contact? Kevin, are you talking about for Shari and I? Are you talking about for ghost hunters, ghost sisters? You got to be more specific, Kevin.
About Patty Blatt, we were catching adult diapers.
Adult diapers. He says both.
Both?
Yep.
Well, you know what, Kevin, you can he'll contact you. And then if he wants us wherever, we can try to figure out
what do you
do?
What do you think?
I guess it depends on what he wants us to do. Yeah, be more specific on what you're trying to ask.
That's right, Kevin. You got to be more specific.
Yeah. I'm
finishing off this bottle because I'm not leaving it sitting in my house because I will want to drink it on my diet.
It's gonna go bad if you don't.
I can't drink wine for 2 months, and you have no idea how hard that's going to be. My mother's talking about getting one of those real nice, huge, fancy hot tubs that'll sit like 12 people. And I'm like,
I can't drink hot tubs though.
I can. And of course I can't sit in there long, but because it intensifies when you're drinking. Did you know that?
Oh, well, maybe that's why I can't do it then, because I cannot.
Yeah, I can, but I can't. I won't be able to sit in there that long. But I'm like, damn it, man! If she gets this during my diet times, and they're all going to be karaokeing and partying it up. Well, shit.
Like the one, like the whole thing where the babies, the baby.
It's like there's times where you can't have one drink around my family. They're funny. My mother loves her whiskey. This woman, 70 years old, and she loves wine. She loves her whiskey. She loves to pour her, she pours her Tennessee, I'm trying to think what it's called. It's really good drink, but it's a real sweet drink. And she pours it into her coffee. She makes a really good drink.
Where I went to was where the hell did I go? I don't know where I went, but like the moonshine, wherever there's moonshine, a lot of people like the moonshine.
Those are moonshine too.
So we went to the convention and everything, and they had like the moonshine, and we went to this place where you could test all these things, and there's little shot glasses, and I'm like, these little things are like so bad. Holy shit.
They're potent, girl.
He went around and it's like constantly, I'm like, half. I could not do it at all. First of all, I didn't like it. Secondly, I was like, oh my God, these little shots. I mean, I felt like I was doing shots like this. Oh my God, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like I just can't do it. I'm not really a big drinker, so it's kind of hard for me to.
I'm not really either. I'm more of a social drinker, or I like to have a glass or two, when I'm home. I used to be, I couldn't drink unless I was out dancing. I used to be, no, if I'm going to drink, I got to be dancing or something. But I think since I've gotten older, I've kind of said, well, you know what? If I'm not out with the family having good times and I'm at home, I'll just have a few glasses. So one guy says Mitchell says he's taken a drink every time we take one.
Okay.
I don't know how many sips you've I've taken about 15. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, we keep adding to the glass, so I'm not sure.
So speaking of the moonshine, Shari, we did this Paracon with the moonshiners, some of the actual moonshiners that were on the moonshiners.
Okay.
And this was in Tennessee. We did this Paracon, and so people were coming and they set up their little events and stuff. And I won't say no names, but we were going to do an investigation because where they had it at way in Tennessee, it was like along a river where the Native Americans were, and there was said to be an active area. So we thought it'd be cool to host this huge event there, and the moonshiners were there. All these cool people coming from there were some people from that famous show from Netflix. It's a series. Dang it, I can't remember. But there's just different people coming. And we had a good time. But one of the guys was making the moonshine, and I'll never forget, girl. And I'm not a moonshine drinker because I like more sweet things. And I can do a whiskey drink, but it has to be sweet. Like I love pina coladas, whatever.
I love pina colada. Frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So they tell us to come over here. The moonshiners are like, come on over here. Hey, girls, come over here. So we go over there. And I bet there's 20 different brands of moonshine, every damn flavor you could think of. And they were selling them for like $20 or $30 a jar, I think. And they were letting us all sample this for free. And there was like 6 of us all standing in a circle there, and we're all around this corner. And they're just taking sips, passing this stuff around. And I'm like, no, I don't like moonshine. But they're like, oh, just taste it. I said, oh, what's a little sip going to do to me, right? So here I'm tasting this chocolate drink. And then I'm tasting Jolly Rancher. And then it's pineapple cake. And then it's blah, blah, blah. Yep. And before I know it, I was so far gone. I was like, holy crap.
Because I saw these little things, but then they give you 12 different types. And it's like, but I saw somebody saying dairy. Yeah, I don't do dairy products. I am lactose intolerant. So there was a few things in there that had dairy, and I was like, no, but it gets to you like that. And I was with Chris Williams and Ronnie LeBlanc and a few other people. And Jay and a few other people with Ronnie, but oh my God, we were all just sitting there like doing this. I was like, I can't, a little thing. I was not good.
Well, they had a big event. They ended up having like a band and everything. Everybody's having a good time, and, we had our tent set up, and my sister's like, Mandy, we got to go live. You got to get yourself together. We got people wanting to investigate with us. So I'm so far gone, girl. I'm like, but I pulled it off. I will say I pulled it off because but I crawled into the wrong tent to get my equipment. All these tents looked alike. And my husband he already went to bed, right? And I thought I was crawling into our tent, and my sister Chastity's just dying laughing at me because she's recording this, and they posted it on social media because they're laughing at me, And I crawled into the wrong tent, and I was like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong tent, And then I get my equipment out. I have this book bag on my back, and I can barely walk straight. But I think I did pretty. In my mind, I did pretty good. But we had to go live. We had people around us. I'm like, oh shit, Chastity. I'm like, damn, man.
Did you ever see it? The video?
Yes. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't fall, except for, well, I take that back. Because there was like this dip that it was weird. It like dipped down like that, and then it went across, and then you were right by the river.
Oh God.
So I'm leading the pack. And this one girl that used to be on my team, she's behind me, and then there's Chastity. And all of a sudden, I went to take a step, and I would have fell down in that little groove. And I could have hurt myself. And she grabbed me so fast, man. It was like a mother grabbing the child, girl. She was like, Mandy. she pulls me back and we fall back. And I'm like, oh my God. And Chastity's recording the whole thing, laughing. So
you have to show me when you.
Girl, I said, I'll never do moonshine again. I woke up the next day. I got sick. I was sick the whole time. My sister and them, nobody's getting sick. I'm throwing up. I can't. I mean, it was horrible, girl. Never again. I haven't touched moonshine in probably 3.5 years. I said, no, I will not touch that again.
I forget where I don't even know. We might be going again this year. Jay and I and Chris Williams. We're all at this show. It could have been Tennessee. I have no idea. Yeah, but we did like the moonshine thing, and I think we're going again this year. I think maybe all of us are going. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, no, I always try. I try to do as much as I can, but knowing that I have to get up really early to do the convention and stuff like that, I've definitely slowed down on my drinking.
Well, my husband's
because there's videos going on at all times.
Yeah, they were recording everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. And my husband's like, how much did you drink? I'm like, I didn't think I drank that much, but I guess I did. But it was being mixed. I think mixing all that stuff, and I didn't eat a whole lot that day.
Yeah.
It took my husband and I 12 hours to get home from Tennessee, which is only like an 8-hour drive. We kept pulling over. I kept wanting to sleep, and my husband was so exhausted, and we just kept falling asleep. And then we get back on the road. I would get sick. It was bad. Never.
I know you'll do it again.
I know. I say I won't, but oh my gosh! And my mother has moonshine. Homemade moonshine, and I'm like, I'm not touching that.
No.
Nope.
This person, she said, because it's so true, Christy Hughes, you said Roadrunner throwing a net over Shari.
Roadrunner.
That is so true. You know, like the cartoons where like the net comes over. That is so true. It's the Roadrunner throwing a net over me. That is totally what happened. That's kind of what I was thinking of.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
Well, shit, Shari, we have been on here, oh my God, for 3 hours. Girl. Oh boy. I think we better end this.
Oh my God.
I feel like I've been investigating. I usually investigate 3, 4, 5 hours, you know? This guy said, Kevin said, I had peach moonshine and flipped over in my rocking chair, and my wife had to unlodge me.
Because I was strapped to the chair in the house.
Oh hell no.
Oh my God.
That's when you had too much. When you're trapped between a chair. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
But it's good times, good times. And I'm one, and it's funny because I'm one that says no drinking during investigations. My sisters, because we like to go out to eat sometimes when we're going with other people, or sometimes just us when we're traveling, we want to go out to eat. And there's always that one. Oh, I'm gonna get a margarita. I'm like, no, we can't be drinking while we're investigating. And guess who it is? Which one do you think it is, Shari?
You know what? Honestly, I don't even want to say. I'm not going to say.
It's the baby sister, Bobby Joe, is the one always wanted to have drinks. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, we can't.
I mean, seriously, they are awesome, absolutely awesome. They're like, like everybody's so different. You're alike, but you're different, and all of you are just very, very genuine people. So I absolutely love it. Love it.
We are, different, and it's good to be different. Though it's better to be your authentic self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with us, it's what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're arguing literally on the live, but that's just the way it is. I can't hide it with my sister, Chastity and me. Sometimes it's so funny because the energy will affect me, and I'll be like, because she'll just be over there doing her little thing, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I'll go over and I'll have the live, and I'll like say something, piss her off in her ear, and then she'll come at me, and it's like, uh-oh.
But like you guys,
It's real shit. There's what's going on.
You guys can get away with a lot more with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like then friends and friends, it's like, like, oh, I'm not gonna be like a bitch to this person, but like you guys are sisters, so you guys can go at it and be fine 2 seconds later. And so that's
I know. I know. It's the sisterly thing, but they're a hoot. I do love investigating with my sisters, but they can't always go with me, and that's the thing. They work full time. Chastity travels for her business, and I'm retired from law enforcement, and all I do is investigate and do my mediumship readings. That's my job.
Yeah. I just want to say, Mitch, I love you and I miss you. Mwah. Let's hope that we can see each other soon. He's one of the guys in the production company.
Oh,
great guy. Great guy. Miss you. Miss all of you guys. Miss all of them.
Well, Shari, girl, it has been fun as always. Time was just going by. We were just.
You know what? We could just talk about anything.
I know. It's like I forget that we're live over here.
I know. That's why I was like trying to okay, I can only say so many things, but I was like, oh, if we're live, we have to bring it down a little bit.
Yep. But it was fun, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I think me and Shari's gonna get off here. Shari's been on here with me long enough, and it's been fun. It has. So, Shari, you got anything you want to tell everybody? You got coming up?
I know that people are asking about ghost hunters, and we still do not have any information that we can give out to anybody. I know that we took our name back from Discovery because so we are actually looking for other locations to go. So we have not come up with a location just yet. So we'll eventually get there, but we're kind of feeling out the situation. What we're looking for is to go on linear along with streaming, because a lot of people are just doing streaming, and it's not fair to the middle of the country where a lot of people are not able to get the streaming, and it's not fair to the people who can't afford the streaming services. So we are trying to get linear along with streaming, just to make everybody happy. These are our fans. We are doing everything we possibly can to please as many people as we can in our fan group. So it's taken a little bit more time, but there's so many mergers and everything. There's so much going on up there that we're that's why it's just taken a lot of time. But if anybody does want to be with us, I wrote this down because I can't remember. In May 17th is Penhurst Asylum. They have a convention going on. June, Smoky Mountain Terror in Tennessee, probably more moonshine. August 27 weekend is Michigan Paracon, and November 2nd is New Jersey Paracon. That's where we will be, like all of us, we will be in these locations. And again, the Arlington Inn in New Hampshire, if anybody wants to go, there's just a few tickets left. That is a very small, private, intimate investigation that we are doing, and that's in May. So there are other things that will come out, so you just have to kind of follow follow me, follow my site, and then I'll throw out there what's going to happen, what's going on, because I am, like I said, trying to get things going on in this area. And of course, if you and me do something,
we need to do something. We're going to do something.
Find something in the middle we could just drive to, and and yeah, definitely.
Well, all right then. All right, guys, you can also tune in this Sunday because I will go live. I'm going to be in Upper Sandusky again with my dear friend Tom Hill, and it'll just be Tom and I taking on one of the oldest buildings in Upper Sandusky. It's never been investigated, and it used to be a Mason, where the Masons would go. So this is going to be interesting. A man's club, more or less.
Right.
We're going to see how this goes with, me being up in there. So tune in Sunday for live feeds, guys. And I'm ghosting out. Okay. There we go.